This episode's recap will begin in a few minutes. If you're new here, or just want a more comprehensive explanation of what's going on, type !recap in the chat for a link to our official game information document. The document contains not only a full summary of events from the first episode until now, but also plenty of colorful world building and other interesting information. Once again, that's !recap in the chat. Where last we left the crew of the Freya, they faced a seemingly insurmountable task, escaping a sentient, planet-sized entity that sought to keep them trapped within its walls. With some quick thinking, clever distractions, valiant combat tactics, and the help of Paradox Jack's latent connection to time travel, the crew managed to visit a time long ago and warn off the first ever crew to land on this planet. With the being sealed away in the past, both crews in the future were saved from its malicious intent, with the added bonus of having this planet marked as highly dangerous and not to be explored. Paradox Jack parted ways with the crew, and the crew parted ways with those they had rescued, continuing now on their way to a supply drop on Station Chroma 4 to finish a mission they took a very long time ago. On the way to that station, there was only one more obstacle in their path. Be it happenstance or fate, the Freya encountered a ship belonging to the Listeners, a cult of dangerous spacefaring creatures with the uncanny ability to track anybody in the universe to anywhere where safe jump lanes connect, as long as any listener has heard the voice of their prey. Combine this with the incredibly advanced and destructive technology they have developed, and the Listeners have become among the most feared species in all of the verse. Before meeting the rest of her crew, Captain Freya and her direct subordinates had landed on the Listener homeworld. This led to both her and her first mate Merrick being heard by the Listeners. They owed them a favor, and the Listeners came to collect. With no option to fight, and without having a fast enough ship to flee, the crew is left with no choice. Freya and Merrick said their goodbyes, leaving the ship in the capable care of the remainder of their crew, and naming Halifax Dewitt the Freya's new captain. Now, with what had bound them together gone, Halifax decided to check in with those who knew Freya the longest, Hugo, Gammon, and VaTze. VaTze and Gammon both chose to stay with the Freya, but Hugo decided some time off a ship as adventurous as this one would do him some good. Halifax agreed to drop Hugo off when they next arrived at a location with a Galactic Society presence. And finally, the crew arrived at Chroma 4 and completed their drop of whatever medical supplies were left, only to find that someone had already paid the fees for the late delivery, which was assumed abandoned. The mysterious benefactor left contact information, with a request that the crew reach out to discuss a phenomenon that was of interest to her. And so, we find our crew now speaking to the mysterious benefactor, a Cyoxy woman who introduces herself as Professor Glimmer Myers. What does she know about the strange ship that attacked the crew so long ago? What does she want in return for paying their debts? What will the crew of the Freya get up to now that they've finally completed the simple job they took so long ago? Let's find out. Welcome back to Tales from an Infinite Verse. Hello! We're on, I think.
Hello!
Hi!
Hi, everyone. I believe we are.
Yes, we are.
I was doing some light level checking last time, and I think my voice was way too loud, so I'm just turning myself down a teensy bit as we get started. But welcome, everyone. Welcome. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome to Tales from Infinite Verse. If you are here for the first time, thanks for joining us. This might be a bit wild, but you just heard some of the recap. I am going to do a slightly extended recap, because you may have noticed that was last week's or 2 weeks ago's recap, because I did not have the wherewithal to record this week's. So I'll do a little bit of catching y'all up. Oh, I better be okay, because I didn't. So if it's not okay, then we got a problem. So the recap that you just heard ended with saying you had a meeting with Glimmer Myers, which is this Cyoxy scientist woman who works for the same galactic society that Ro does. That conversation happened, and basically you learned that for the first ever episode, the problem they had, the weird ghost ship thing that attacked them, is basically Professor Myers has been assigned to figure out what's going on with that, because it's not just the one. There have been ships like that popping up all over, and no one with no seeming connection or relation at all. She has taken to calling them the derelict, and is studying them and basically spreading a wide net of like people who, hey, if you see one again, talk to me immediately, and if I see one and you're nearby, I'm going to send you the coordinates so we can go check it out. A few possible plans for when that happens have been pitched, such as putting on a scanner slash projector transmitter to scan the ship from the inside, because it seems that scanning it is what causes them to go haywire and attack things. But the other plan is like if you think it's a derelict and don't scan it and go in, then hypothetically you can find out what's going on, because it won't actually turn hostile until that point in time. So you had that meeting, and then decided what to do next. Another opportunity that was proposed, once she realized who it was, she actually recognized Ro by name once you guys were introduced, because she's part of the Galactic Society and read his reports on the Pain Ra that he sent in.
You know, just the guy that discovered the home planet of the Pain Ra.
and now I have to give speeches and stuff like that about it to the society.
Of course. So
you're the guy who discovered Bigfoot's homeworld?
Professor Myers has set you up with a lecture, and also you get a chance to kind of go close, meet her, and this will be another opportunity. Several opportunities. This will be a chance to drop off Hugo, who needs some time off ship, and Galactic Society is a perfect place for him. It will be a chance for Halcyon to deliver a message he's been secretly carrying the whole time, because they do have transmit stations that can do what needs to be done. It's overall just lots of busy work to do, lots of stuff to get done on that planet, but it's a long trek away. Yes.
Is anybody else getting a bit of crackly static off of Josh's mic?
Say something again, Josh.
Hello? Crackly static check? Check for crackly static?
I heard it once.
A little bit, not much.
Like a blip. It's
Hold
not
up.
like terrible.
Let me see really quick. Let me tweak some settings. Someone on stream has noticed it as well. It's probably a voice mod thing, because of course it's a voice mod thing.
Mods. Not like our real mods. Our real mods are awesome. Voice mods, not so much.
Is this any better? Is this any... Oh, hang on. Is this any better? Is this any different for anyone?
No.
Worse? Same?
It's not worse, but same, yeah.
Okay. All right. I see you, voice mod. I'm not if that's prevalent. I'm not gonna stand for that. See, I actually rather like voice mods. I think they go pretty well. I don't. That said, I may just not need one for today. So let me try switching that off. Is that better? Is that anything?
Say some more.
Hello. Is this clear? Is it better?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Fuck you, voice mod. I'm over it. I'll do more troubleshooting on that later, but we're not getting voice mod tonight because I would rather have clearer quality than fancy voices. I don't think I can listen. Hey, I'm a professional DM. I can do funny voices without the help of voice mod. I still got it.
Exactly.
Just
Fantastic.
nobody talk to Dewitt.
VaTze is taking a vow of silence until you get to the Opal homeworld.
Fair enough.
Thank you guys for pointing that out. So yeah, you went down to Malchus because a tip that one of you, I think it was Halcyon, found on the station, which is that there was a political exile who would be loaded and have a lot of money, who's been trying to get off planet. So you met with her. Her name is Princess Taraka. Used previously General Taraka. Though none of the reports or news stories that were read. Wrote in some research, said anything about her being a princess, or in fact named her beyond a name. Very little was given about her. The story as it stands though is that there was basically some planet bombing thing that was going to happen, that she was no, a lot of innocent people are going to die, I'm not doing that. And so they're like, hey, you're a bad general, leave, and exiled her. And that's sort of the story.
Like you do.
Yeah, like you do. Now Josh is a tad quiet. How's that? Is that better? I've just turned my volume up a little bit. I could do this all day. I'll troubleshoot all day. I'd rather not. I want to play the game, but
yeah, I didn't want to interrupt. I'm sorry.
No, you're. Oh, please. I'm glad you did. I would have been so angry with myself to go back and hear it crackly the whole time.
It is still doing so, but maybe it's on my end. So I'm
no, I literally just saw it in chat.
I hear it
what's
too.
happening? What's going on here?
I'm sorry.
No, it's cool.
It's okay.
It's not your fault, Sean.
Is that... Oh, that's not going to do it. Is that any better? Is it still...
I think so.
I think so.
That was me turning it off and back on again, so...
Classic.
Otherwise, I don't know what would have...
No, it's sounding better for now.
Yeah.
Although it seems... Lean back into your chair and get into your usual position.
Oh, is it a distance thing? Is this any different or better or worse?
No, it's still not doing it.
Yeah, it's not doing it anymore. Okay, cool.
To answer the question of... no, glitchy is what I'm... do I have a wiring on top of the mic? I do not. That is actually something that I learned as in my time as an audio tech, so that is something that I avoid.
I'm trying to read what this shirt is saying back there. And now you're completely muted. World's greatest something.
World's
completely...
okayest.
Oh, okay.
It says world okayest DM.
You're completely muted now, though. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, look, I'm sorry.
I gave him that shirt for Christmas, that's why I know it.
Ah, okay. It's a good shirt.
Or was it his birthday? One of the two. Yeah.
We can hear you.
Debatable.
Do they really need to hear you?
Alright, hey, for this episode, I'm going to be muted, and you guys all need to... The cast will hear me, and you on stream won't, and you'll have to guess what I'm saying by their reactions. Quick, everyone act surprised.
You know, you joke, but that sounds like one of those 2-page indie games.
Oh my god, it really does.
Yeah.
Or like one, how it would be in an indie game is the DM can hear everyone and no one else can hear anyone else.
Yeah.
That sounds like what it would. Anyway.
Yeah.
Stream, can y'all hear me? Cool. I'm hoping that's a yes. Considering Phoenix laughing at my joke, I'm assuming that is a yes. God, let's play the game. Holy shit.
Yes, absolutely.
So you have Princess Tarika, and you are getting ready to vacate the planet. However, you are being followed. You have 2 thugs on the ground and one basically perched in a ship ready to give chase when you take off. But you have gotten in touch with your fearless Captain Halifax, who has come to pick you up in the Freya, which is looking a little on the rattier end. You guys could use some upgrades, but we'll get to that later. I'm closing chat now, so if there's any problems, please let me know, because I'm getting distracted again. And we are going to pick right up. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Nice.
This is entirely too dramatic for what's about to happen. Let's start here. Okay. So we are gathering up. You guys can sort of get aboard the ship. And any plans you have before you just take off and engage, and whoever's about to engage with you, you can do. Halifax, as the crew boards, you were told what was happening. You're not in the dark about this, but
Yeah.
you are meeting the princess for the first time. If she's dressed like a princess, it's Jasmine from the point in time in the movie where she's trying to disguise herself as the peasantry. So she doesn't look royal right now. She looks very much like she's trying poorly to fit in on a very kind of military, grungy planet. But she steps inside with you guys, rolling up also. VaTze went along, so VaTze's robot form comes in, parks herself in the corner, and VaTze immediately releases from the cloud and goes back into the ship, which Tarika sort of watches and just has a moment but doesn't actually say anything. Yeah, you guys are on board. Tarika's sort of looking around, seeing getting a feel for the ship. She's trying to hide that, like, oh, this is what we're flying on sort of thing. When it's very clearly not the life she's used to.
You forgot to take off an earring.
She
Points
goes
to like a lobe. That's just like a finely ornate like piece.
She turns and she goes, ugh, thank you, and takes it off and throws it out of the ship. No desire to keep that whatsoever. Just clatters to the rooftop. She goes, I'm sorry, I haven't made your acquaintance yet. I'm Princess Tarika. Pleasure to meet you.
Halifax Dewitt. Very nice to meet you, ma'am.
Captain, princess, captain, we need to get going.
Do you now? Go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say, Captain, we might have company soon, so possibly your talents might be better suited in your flyer with the guns.
Are you asking me to fight them off? Is that what you're asking me?
I'm asking you to be prepared to fight them off.
You do know. Sorry. So Elle wasn't here last week. You do know that the pursuit you're about to face is at the very least a Class 1 starship, which a flyer could absolutely deal some real damage to, especially a bounty hunter's flyer like the one you have. So that is an option you have if you want to get an edge in the space fight you're about to have.
The biggest eye roll from Halifax, and then towards Talon, and says,
"Don't ruin the Freya. Don't fuck it up.
Why
We're
would
not
I
wild
ruin my
jumping.
baby?
We're not wild jumping. Understood?
Not wild jumping.
You promise?"
I put a lot of hard work into this ship. I'm not going to fuck it up.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
and Halifax just cracks his knuckles and just starts like heading over towards the flyer to
Sweet.
get ready.
Yeah, you head to the bay. So you have a cargo bay, by the way, which is now for the first time since the beginning empty. But that would be a place where you can store your flyer for like takeoff in the middle of a space fight. I assume you didn't want to bring any other cargo. You're just transporting person right now, and you can get cargo another time if you want to do a transportation job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say right now is basically just the escort, not really taking up anything else, just not to risk any more damage to anything else.
Okay, you guys, Halifax, you head to your flyer, which I don't think you've actually given a proper test drive yet, so this is going to be fun. And the rest of you, we kind of do your own. Where are you guys going to prep? I guess Talon captain's orders. Are you taking the helm?
I will take the helm.
All right. Halcyon and Ro, what are you guys doing as the ship makes ready to take off?
Do we have like a cannon on board the ship?
God, we haven't discussed your ship specs since day one. We've never gotten into a space scrap, so we haven't gone. I'm fairly certain you do have a weapon. I don't remember if you guys picked the point defense turrets or if you picked the actual front-facing cannon.
I think we have the turret.
Yeah, I think we have
sounds
the point
right.
defense turret. Sounds right.
So you don't actually currently have, unless
defense.
We can do some minor damage to and take out like fighters or any missiles that they might have.
But it's like auto
hit their
targeting.
shields. Yeah.
I'm getting a weird deja vu flashback, and this may not be accurate. Did you scrap anything from Briar's ship on the first planet? Did you like take a weapon from his ship?
I know I did. You're right.
Because
I wanted his big gun.
Because he was powering his sending the power from his cannon through the gun. I remember you like crushed your tech roll there. I think you may have just straight up installed a cannon.
Oh god.
Anyone from chat remember?
An untested, unfired, salvaged cannon. Oh, this is gonna go so well.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
That sounds so correct to me that I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, sure.
Canonical.
You're right. I know I was salvaging what I could from his ship, and if I could get his gun, I definitely would have done that.
Okay, yeah, we've now confirmed from Jake too. Everyone, this sounded familiar to everyone, so I'm gonna call that accurate.
Okay. I wanted his large cannon. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So yeah, you have two guns then. We are prepping for a space fight, which I didn't realize it hadn't happened yet. So space combat works as such. Whoever is on each part of the ship gets to sort of like figure out what's going down there and make the rolls for it. So for instance, typically Talon, you'd be in engineering because that lets you put some more power into shields and help protect the ship. And a pilot would be flying the ship, and then you would need one person for each weapon. If you would like to assign anyone to anywhere to do these things, you can absolutely prep yourself for a space fight.
I'm not as good as an engineer as Talon in any way, but I at least have a minor amount of like expertise, and also I know how to follow directions. So I'm going to tootle down to the engineering.
Okay.
What could be good is basically have a direct hookup between us, Halifax and Ro, and kind of just have that line of communication, like, in case something happens that's like, oh fuck, I lost communication with the ship or whatever, and it's like, we need to do this thing, like, you follow directions. You
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going on comms/sensors, basically. What's the term for that? It's like communications. Yeah. Just like okay. So
sweet, love that. So since Talon's flying the boat, Halcyon, does that mean put you in engineering, or do you want one of the NPCs to do it?
I feel like an NPC would be better in engineering.
Well, let's look at the NPC. Hugo's still on board, though. Hugo's a primarily biological.
Yeah.
Hugo's not going to be any help. Vexius could do it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my vote.
Yeah.
Vexius goes back into her body. Here we go. And sort of rolls off to get to engineering.
Actually, I just realized being the influence character, I would probably be suited to do command roles. So yes, okay, cool. I will indeed make sure that I'm in communications with VaTze to make sure that I can relay any information.
Sweet.
I will not repeat what the ship says. I'm not doing that whole bit from
From Galaxy Quest.
from Galaxy Quest.
I have one job.
All right. And that leaves the guns to be manned, the point defense turrets and the cannon. Gammon looks at Halcyon excitedly, just kind of like,
You can have the cannon.
huh?
You can have the cannon.
Okay, and rushes. Rushes over. So Gammon gets the front-facing cannon, and that puts you on point defense, Halcyon?
Yeah.
All right. You guys with...
There is a General Princess that also could be on the
If
guns.
you would like to talk to... Yeah, as I think Taraka sees you guys all sort of doing your thing and is pretty much keeping her voice down. If you want to see if she wants to get involved in any way, you're welcome to.
Would you like to man the gun, Princess?
It was never really my specialty getting up in the firefight myself, though I've always been interested to. I don't have a lot of hands-on experience.
Hang
Well,
out
the
on the
offer-
bridge then.
All right, Hal, get in there.
All right.
Yeah.
Taraka stays in the bridge, sort of unwittingly, like, since you guys are sort of running a skeleton crew right now, in that, like, when it comes to this, like, pretty much every role is filled, and that uses pretty much everyone you have.
Yeah.
So she unwittingly, like, takes a seat in what was, like, Merrick's old seat, but, like, not actually, like, mean anything by it, just like, oh, here's a free seat, as you guys get ready. All right, and you guys can do what it is you're going to do.
You know, basically,
Well,
as we're
Yeah, I will
picking-
fly to try to just fly away.
Okay.
Yeah, just start taking off.
All right. So, Ro, you're on like communications and that kind of area, right? You're seeing what's going on. You've got the scanners and the radars.
Yeah.
As soon as the ship begins to power up, you see blips on your scanners of like energy weapons charging up nearby. On like the rooftop opposite you, while you guys were planning, the two thugs at the ground level have managed to like get to a higher vantage point. They have like street level stuff. It's not going to be anything big, but they are trying to basically it's that scene where the stormtroopers shoot at the ship that's taking off, sort of a thing. If you want to do anything about that, you can, but they're just sort of pew, pew, pew. The shields kind of, as they're powering up, just kind of deflect the blasts, no problem.
I just say to the gun turrets, hold fire, not a threat. This means use, Mary.
Correct.
Don't blow them up. You might hit some. You might hit some civilians.
Way ahead of you, Ro.
You hear Gammon over the comms. It's like, you have to point me at whatever you want me to shoot anyway. I've got a real narrow arc on this thing.
Oh, that's true. He's on the cannon, so he can only fire at stuff in front.
Yeah, he has
Right.
he has like a 10 degrees of like that he can like sort of cheat it around, but for the most part, it's just like this is one direction. Okay, as you get higher up and start to actually get into the air, your readings, Ro, pick up that they kind of pause firing, and you see like they're going to like overcharge a shot, something which could hypothetically do damage to the ship if it isn't avoided or the shields don't really soak it. It's still not. It's not a lot, but it's something that a ground, like a high power, like energy rifle could just like put all its power into one shot and actually potentially do some damage.
All right. Who's on shields?
VaTze.
All right. Well, I just tell VaTze shields to the rear because we're moving away from them, right? So
Yeah.
even any pursuit is going to hit. Yeah. Shields to the aft.
Cool. So since I don't roll for NPCs, I'm just gonna have you do this. Roll, but use your influence to kind of like communicate
yes.
that quickly and clear. So go ahead and roll face adversity with influence to see how well VaTze can get this done.
4 and a 1. That's 5 plus 2, 7.
All right, good thing for the +2 influence. All right,
Yes.
so this is a shields up roll, which is the ship's version of brace for impact, which means it will do whatever damage it is going to do, no more, no less.
Right.
This is still a ground weapon. It the shields kind of move, but doesn't quite get there in time. The energy blast punches through the shields and sort of pings, punches a small hole in the hull. There's one corridor which like has to like get repaired and like sealed off a little bit, but it's a minor scrape at best. It's not going to like cause any lasting damage. They weren't able to like take out anything pivotal, and you guys take up to the skies, and you are in the atmosphere. So, Halifax, you specifically said not to wild jump. This is correct?
Yes.
Cool. That means your destination is the jump lane, which is going to take you back to the space station, which is like a 2-hour flight, which means the only real option you have here, because if you try to jump while you're like go into a lane while you're being fired upon, all hell could break loose. The option here is to fight. You got to take down your pursuers, else you can't safely escape them without a wild jump. And it does not take long for your pursuers to show themselves. As you've been making your way to your destination, you see a Class 1 starship zoom up from the starport and fall onto your tail very, very quickly. Class 1s are much smaller and not nearly as strong as the Freya, but they're fast. They're quick little buggers. And you are in your flyer. Right now the ship is keeping distance, but Ro, you can see its weapons and its shields are up. It's putting power into weapons. It's getting ready to open fire. There's no communications. There's no diplomacy here. This is line's been crossed. Let's go. All
right.
I would have like once we were in airspace opened up the hatch just to be like ready to go.
You are looking out the back of the ship as you see this kind of Class 1 starship. Looks like simple stuff. Learn and make kind of zooms out into view, begins charging its weapons.
All right, I'm already gonna head up. I'm going out.
Off you go. You'll get there in a hot second, but before you get a chance to, as they're kind of closing distance on you and the Freya, is anyone on board doing anything to like prep before they? Again, they it looks like they also have a front-facing cannon, sort of a The cannon they have installed almost looks like an old-timey ship's cannon, but it's very clearly charging like an energy blast. Still, you can see like the kind of glow at the front as it charges up. What is the plan on?
I would like to take evasive maneuvers.
Fantastic. You kind of do some barrel roll stuff. Go ahead and roll plus expertise.
I was going to say to Hal not to launch until the evasive maneuvers are done. We don't have a launch. We don't have a launch bay, for example. She's throwing herself out the airlock, more or less.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. I can handle it.
That's a 9.
9. Okay, so on a 9, a mixed success here. I'm gonna say right now they kind of start to open fire, and we get this kind of blast, and you twirl out. You dodge the you do dodge the blast, but there's definitely like a lot of sort of commotion, so to speak, that it makes yourself very visible to anyone else who might be watching, anything else that might be watching. Okay. I will cut back to what that means in a second. You dodge the blast, it combs over you guys, and you guys can continue on your way. As Halifax, you take off and make your way towards this other ship. As you do, this Class 1 ship has their front-facing cannon, but this is a kill ship. This is not meant for like high-octane space combat. They don't have point defense turrets. They, seeing you approach, would they see you approach? Yeah, they'll see you approach, absolutely.
They're locked on us, yeah.
And they're going to actually divert attention to you, knowing how bad it will be for them if you can get into close quarters, and they start charging their cannon up to fire at you instead.
All right.
Dan, did you have something? Sorry, real quick. Dan, did you have something you wanted to get in there?
Is this something that I notice sitting at the point defense turrets, like an energy spike, or?
Yeah, for sure.
I would like to try and intervene.
Sweet.
On Hal's behalf.
Absolutely. Let me see what Hal's gonna do first, and this will probably be like the get involved roll.
Okay.
Hal, what you got?
So the plan was, it'd be that like they're going to like charge, and the fuel is gonna like look like it's gonna cut, but it's basically the flyer is going to like drop down suddenly, and then I'm gonna come under the ship and then back around the ship.
Very, very cool. Go ahead and roll me your expertise, and then based on how that goes, so Halcyon, you're getting involved. You can like cover fire however you want, but we're gonna see if it's a needed thing based on how this roll goes for Halifax. 7? Mm-hmm. Cool. So go ahead and get involved. Give me your expertise, Halcyon, and let's see if you can turn that mix into a success.
Boy, expertise.
Flying a ship, or manning a gun in this case.
I am so sorry.
No.
That's a 3.
Oh no.
Well, that makes it a 6 there.
Okay. So, not having been in a space scrap in a very long time, the crew's wherewithal is a little shaky. You dip down, and as you kind of get ready to, an arc of point defense lasers comes firing down directly into the path where you were going to drop, and you have to pull up very quickly as the cannon fires off, and I need you to brace for impact.
I'm sorry!
God, we're off to such a good start.
I'm basically looking. I'm watching this happen on like the 3D screens, and I'm just yelling into Hal's like, "Hold fire! She's in your line of fire! Hold fire!" Sorry. Yes, he's in your line of fire. Hold fire! Hold fire!
11.
We'll wait until someone clears.
11 is phenomenal.
Okay.
Yeah.
11 means you take less damage than you would have, and this is already a flyer meant for shielded combat. This attack is not an accurate one. And as you sort of have to dodge around the turret fire, and this thing comes at you, you can quickly pull up. It's going to clip you, and it hits those shields. There's a crackling, sputtering sound as alarms whoop, 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 start going off in your flyer. You did not, however, maintain any hull integrity damage. What you did suffer is the fact that your shields are now fully down for the flyer, which means if you take another shot, the flyer could be blasted out of the air. You are also sent spiraling a little bit so that you are completely off course and need to sort of reconvene. That last strategy isn't going to work out, and the ship takes advantage of that rather than try and reconvene and shoot you to close some distance between themselves and the Freya.
Gotta have that reverse shot of the pilot with the sky wheeling in the background.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
This thing.
Absolutely.
Damn it, I just had this flyer fixed.
Well, again, luckily not damage. As long as that's the last shot you take in the fight, those shields are pretty easy to just they'll recharge over time. It's just right now the energy is just sputtered out. However,
I relay that info to the rest of the crew that she's cracked open, but she's fine, right? Like she has no more shields. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting.
You're good.
Yeah, he's cracked open, but he's fine.
Gammon's gonna call.
Referring to the ship.
Yeah.
Gammon's gonna call. If you can get me pointed at someone, I can get shooting. But there's something else going on the scanners. Sean, you don't know what kind of leverage this muscle had, but you are now getting from down below on the planet's surface another energy spike, because you're still with an atmosphere to kind of like detect things like that. They seem to have some like the space version of like ground to air going on, and it seems they have someone in that. They are currently charging up an atmospheric defense laser. Yes, so that this is something that can hit your starship from the ground, which is the consequences of your spin. That gave an easy target for people on the ground to lock on to. So,
okay, I'm going to take. Okay, deep breath. Math will save us, and I basically calculate the ground position. This has to be a fixed point. Therefore, it's going to be tracking us ahead. Look at our own trajectories. Basically, all the little math symbols. Mm-hmm. The little floaty math symbols.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Charge times of these things plus, and I will reach over. Reach over, slap because I'm assuming I'm like diagonally from the pilot seat.
Yeah, sure.
Like I reach over, left hard now. Like as I slap.
Cool.
Only the image is actually a cat just leaning up on the steering column.
this is. Are you telling Talon to do that, or are you just doing it yourself? Cool.
I'm doing. Well, rather, I'm just telling him, left turn hard, now, and I'm waiting for the timing for them to like.
Talon, expertise, Row, intellect. You're solving problems with math.
Yes. So that's a 5 and 2, 7 plus 2, 9.
To get involved.
Only
okay.
9.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Mine was a 12.
Cool. I'm gonna say since his was a 12, I'm going to just nix the mix and call that a full, because there's no need for a consequence if he already did the thing perfectly. So you give that command, the ship veers hard left, and at first you don't see any purpose to this. Like looking, like anyone who doesn't know what's going on, looking out at space would be like, okay, we veered left, and a huge laser comes screaming past where the ship would have been otherwise. As it's just kind of out into space. Cool. The ship is now closing distance. The main ship. Halifax, you've had a chance to kind of correct yourself. It's going to take you a minute to catch up. What is your play here before I see what the ship is doing?
So my flyer is very stealthy. So I'm
yes,
going
it is.
Yes. So I am going to try to just based on like the very do I know a lot about this type of like ship, how it's built, and like where like blind spots are per se?
I mean, this is kind of your thing. Flying is like your whole deal, so I would say so. Yeah, I think it's gonna come down to expertise. It seems like.
Yeah. So it's gonna be trying to stay in the blind spot, just to think that I tumbled away and was just lost, so they don't suspect anything when it comes up behind and just.
Awesome. So I'm not gonna have you roll. No, go ahead. Yeah, roll face adversity with expertise. Let's see how that goes before we dive any further. 9? Cool. So I'm gonna say what that means is it's gonna take you a minute to kind of like. There's not a lot of blind spots on a class 1. They're so small that it's very easy to see around. So it takes you a second to like. You have to be very careful with your approach. It's gonna take you another like round of combat, so to speak, but you will do it. You'll get there just a little slowly. Cool?
Okay, yeah,
great.
That's fine.
So meanwhile, Class 1 starship closing distance with the Freya. Talon, it looks like you've got you're itching to do a thing. What's up?
I was listening to you.
Oh, you're just
I have something.
You're praying.
Something, but
got
if
it.
they want to, no, I'm thinking, but I would, at earliest chance, I would try to come around so Gammon can get at it with the guns.
Absolutely. Yet again, since there's an NPC doing a thing, I'm going to call this is on you. So go ahead. Gammon will shoot. You don't need to order him to shoot. But you do need to give him a good shot. So go ahead and give me an face adversity with expertise.
In the meanwhile,
11 plus 2, 13.
Phenomenal. Ro, what's up?
Sorry, no, in the meanwhile, I think that while we're making the banking turn, Hal would provide cover fire in the assumption that he needed to get involved. But, I would just try to direct cover fire, but we don't need to roll because we got a 13.
You are kind of getting ready, and they are charging their cannon up again. The cannon they have is not super strong, as you noticed. It, like, the fact that a flyer survived a direct cannon shot means it's not the strongest weapon, but it does fire quickly. It's got a kind of just rapid pace to it, so it's already getting ready to charge up and fire again. But you twist the ship around, and you just over the comms you just hear "suckers," and a huge cannon shot goes off. There's a moment of like their cannon was firing at the same time, and you're much more hardy. This was the cannon that wounded a Pain Ra. Like the two shots like pass in air, and like yours pretty much devours their energy shot. It
like
does...
a DBZ beanbag.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And it sort of dissipates a little bit, but it does clip their ship, sort of like what happened to the flyer, and they kind of go barreling before they get a chance to sort of get themselves corrected. Dan, do you have a thing?
No.
Cool. I'm mistaking like this for like I want to talk now. So that the ship goes spinning, and that gives, I'm going to say, now that kind of slowed them down, Halifax, that's going to give you the advantage because they are taking them to right themselves, and that's backing, like, you're on a collision course and they don't know you're coming. So you can go ahead, if you want to open fire on them, you can do that with advantage at this point.
I would love to do that.
Meanwhile, just a heads up for those on the ship, Row, they are charging another shot from the ground to air.
Okay.
Is this with like force, finesse? Or
would what do you Sean, what do you think? Would this be force or expertise?
Normally firing a like precision weapons is finesse, and firing heavy cannons is still force, even if you're inside of a ship. It's still, so if it's like precise, it's like finesse. Yeah. If it's a kaboom, it's force.
Okay, so yeah, I would call this force. It's not like a kaboom, but it's a volley more than it is like a precision strike on this case. So yeah, plus force with advantage.
Okay.
We lost you.
Matt. 8. Row, what's up?
Oh no, I was just said how strange it was that we lost Elle there for a second.
Oh, it was because probably the loud click clack
kind
of cut off the.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Cool.
Algorithms.
Don't like it.
They are in no position to like cause you harm here, but they get their shields back up quickly enough. Like you kind of crack into them and get a few shots onto their hull. You see air hissing out into the void of space. They can't really take a lot more than this, but they are managing to right themselves. And you, I think, Halifax, you're close enough, you can, like, see the flashing light of alarms going off in their ship. And as they actually drop pursuit for a second, and put all power into shields, so that, like, the next few blasts you fire off just pew 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 ping off the shields instead of actually like puncturing them. Meanwhile, back on the Freya, there's another ground cannon charging up. It looks like if you guys keep the pace you're going, there'll be another like 2 or 3 of those before you can get out of planet reach. Do you have anything you'd like to do about that?
So while this the spin is going on, and when I notice that there's another ground cannon shot, I am actually going to tap into the emergency. Well, I'm going to call the emergency broadcast, like the emergency communications of the planet, and just tell them that one of their orbital defense lasers has been compromised, and it needs to be shut down right now over this territory. It is currently firing without any like local support. So,
all right.
So I'm going to see if I can get them.
Ship.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can't get them to at least like shut down that terror, because obviously it's heavy ordnance. It's something that belongs to the planet.
Sure. So it's heavy ordnance. Here's what I'm going to give you. This is something that was like ordained, so to speak, but not everybody on the planet's going to know that. I am going to cut you disadvantage because getting them to act that quickly is going to be Herculean, but influence with disadvantage. Let's see what we got.
Fair, that's fair. Right, that is. I'm going to lose a 6. No! Ooh, that 6 became a 2, so a 4, a 2, and a 2. That's a 8.
Mixed success. Hey,
that would have been a 12 otherwise.
God, I'm so sorry. Not bad. Still, you do that, and you open up the kind of comms, and you get a response pretty nearly immediately of just like, sorry, who's this?
I give the full ID. This is the Freya, ID number, We just recently departed, and we are being fired upon by a commandeered. What's the word I'm looking for? A hijacked, or malfunctioning planetary defense system.
No. It's very secure. Everything here is fine. In quadrant 7.
Do you not look out the window and look at the big beams going into the sky?
The big beams go into the sky all the time. It's a military planet. This is. He goes, I'll run a scan to make sure, but I'm sure it's quite fine. And the other one goes off and he goes, Oh shit! No, all right. And you hear clicking, clacking as he gets to work, shutting it down. But one more shot gets off before he can do that.
Right.
That's sort of the proof he needed.
Yeah.
Cool. But there is another big laser coming up this ship. Who wants to tackle that and how?
I'm afraid that I cannot give you the precise calculations this time. I was too busy waiting on hold.
I will do my best.
Roast two plans, math and diplomacy.
I would. So I don't think I wouldn't know obviously everything that Ro knows about the defense cannons from last time, but I imagine that I would still see like the energy spike on whatever imaging system, targeting system I have.
Yeah.
And this is the second time I'm seeing it, so I feel like I have at least a decent sense of timing.
Yeah, for sure.
So I would like to, if needed, get involved to help steer away.
Oh, to call in like shadow timing.
Just like 5, 4, 3.
Absolutely.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, so to you, it looks like, because you have that sort of like little digital like grid system, you're not looking at an actual window, it looks like that like film grain where you just see a lens flare and then beam. So it's like a very like sudden thing. But yeah, absolutely. Since you're counting down for our dear Talon, go ahead and roll me that. I'm going to call this an intellect. Roll plus intellect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, much better. Much better. That's a 9.
9's a good thing. I'm gonna say with a 9, that just means like if there's another threat that comes up, you are focusing on defense right now. You can't actually use the point defense turrets while doing this. You're aiming down so you can see. So it kind of puts them out of commission for a hot minute. Talon, go ahead and give me that expertise roll. You just need a 7 or higher because his mixed success got you up the next level.
Ooh, that's 6 and a 4 plus 2.
Talon does not need anyone's help tonight. Yeah, so you.
I rolled a 7 earlier.
So barrel roll, yet again, you sort of wait, and then as soon as that flare appears, you know the laser's been fired, it's safe to move. It's a pretty big laser, but shoots past Anya. And you hear, over the comms, hijacked space laser, not on my watch. Tick, 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 tick. And the power signature dies down as the guy got in touch with shuts down the cannon for the future shots. The only other problem is, so that's one threat dealt with. The starship has not tried to get back at you. They are battered up enough that they don't want to give chase. However, their cargo bay opens and 2 flyers dispatch and zoom after the Freya. So you've got that on your hands. It seems to be the last of it. The actual ship itself turns to like get a safer distance from you guys. It wants nothing to do with any of you, the kind of weapons you have anymore.
Do I see that happen?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well I'm gonna go after them.
Sweet. They sort of split for like a scissor kind of a thing, so you can absolutely chase down one, and the ship's gonna have to handle the other. Let's start with you though, Halifax. You are chasing after one of this flyer. You get the idea it knows you're there, and it's definitely trying to play evasive maneuvers, but you're sort of like tailing it. So this is going to be a straight flying contest. This is going to be I would call this finesse, because these things aren't well shielded. You just need to get a good shot off, and this is precision. So go ahead, roll plus finesse. Oh, we lost you.
No.
There we are. You're back.
There we go.
Okay.
More clackities.
Yes, I was doing clack noises. Finesse. Okay, cool. I just wanted to check and make sure I had the right chat. Alright, let's see how this goes. Big money, no whammies. 10.
We see just like straight this kind of zigzagging formation, and there's a moment where it's like, oh yeah, like there's clearly never going to be a shot getting off here, and it's like we expect like to see like on the targeting system like the target locked, but you're not doing any of that. You're just sort of clocking their pattern, and you sort of get them like in your scopes, and as that lines up, you just wait for them to zig back, and this pew pew flyer immediately blasts up in the sky, fully take it down. The other one, however, manages to pull up to the kind of side of the Freya and sort of goes, so it's like side thrusters are pushing it alongside of you guys, and it's getting ready to open fire on your shields as you go. What do you guys want to do?
Is point defense still out of commission at this point?
If someone can buy you a second of time, I'm gonna say you can do it. Otherwise, you can do it now, but I'm gonna give you disadvantage.
They're right alongside us?
Yes.
Can I just bump them?
No. We do not want burning wreckage smashing into the side of the ship.
The answer is yes, you can.
No. This is not a ramming vehicle. We are not
maneuver.
We are not an orc. We're not an orc vehicle that has a bunch of spikes on the front of our ship.
Orc vehicle? What the fuck is going on there?
Are we still in the atmosphere, or are we in space now?
I think we broke. You said.
Yeah, I'd say you're probably just out of atmosphere by now.
I'd say okay. Halifax, Halcyon. Sorry, I keep getting Halcyon, take the shot. I'm going to try to provide him a firing solution because I've been trying to keep a track. I'm going to try to undo his disadvantage.
Cool.
I'm not providing him any advantage, but
so,
I'll at least find out.
give roll plus intellect. If you succeed, I will scrap the disadvantage for him.
6 and 1, 7, 9. Okay,
9?
well.
Okay, you've been doing a lot to try and keep up with this whole time. So I think at this point, Ro, as you sort of do this, you're sort of like you're navigating the systems all over the place, and there's so much processing power going on that the system stalls for a second. So now you're out of commission for the fight for a sec. You lose your read on what's happening next, but I will cancel that disadvantage. So Halcyon, this with a point defense turret, this is going to be a plus finesse.
That's fine. Force and finesse are both a +1 for me, so.
Fair enough.
That 5, 3, 1. That's a 9.
Mixed success. So you and the flyer both open fire at the same time, and it gets a few shots off before you tear it from the sky. The shields are going to go up. I don't know how to. VaTze is on the shields, but I don't think anyone's really giving him orders in this moment.
Well, when I had the idea of bumping him, I was about to tell VaTze to put all shields on that
fair.
side.
I'm just gonna have you, Ethan, go ahead, roll the shields up roll, straight up. So.
Okay. What stat would that add?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying for the future, would it be cool, by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt. Would it be cool if there's no one, like if a player is not in engineering, they can roll, but with disadvantage to up the shields?
There's no reason you can't turn the shields on for you. Like engineering is about like rerouting things to like make it fancy. Cool. Go ahead. You know what? Let's implement that rule right now. Talon, go ahead and no, you have an NPC there. I'm not gonna give you disadvantage. Go ahead and just roll its intellect for shields. No, expertise for shields. We've never done this before.
Intellect.
Intellect for shields.
It's my intellect again. Okay. All right, not bad. An 8.
An 8.
Yes.
Okay, which means, again, the ship takes the damage it's going to take. This would be another minor wound. Again, none of the weapons here have been really, like, terrible, but the ship has already sustained one, so this time, as the few shots get in here, you guys hear your own alarm bells start to ring, as one of your engines kind of takes some hits, and the ship sort of bucks to the side. Halcyon, you take the flyer out of the air, and the sky is clear. Woo! You hear Gammon. You hear Gammon running down the hall to climb up your ladder to give you a high five.
Amazing.
And the ship is whoop, 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 kind of going. We get some basic alarm stuff as the engine sort of ruptures a little bit, but the fight is over. Your pursuers are defeated. The Unless you want to do something about the starship. The flyers are gone, and the starship has no interest in pursuing you. It's pretty badly... It's limping back to planet side, it looks like. So it's up to you if you want to let them go and see if that becomes a thing later, or if you want to tie up the loose end.
I swivel around in my seat, leaving the scanner screen with the big blue screen of death for me over overdoing it. And I just I'll tell him, like, you should hit the engine room and see about that about the engines. I'll keep your seat warm.
I will appreciate it. Well, the captain's seat. I will.
Yep.
I will go fix what those assholes broke.
I have a plus one expertise, so I can at least keep things floating until the real captain gets back.
For sure.
How far away is it from here? Has it been just like puttering back?
The planet? You're the starship?
The ship.
The other starship.
It's not. It hasn't gotten super far yet. It's not a lot of time's passed.
I'm gonna hail them.
Interesting choice. All right. You hail them from the flyer, and I think the comms kind of go through it, and after a moment, it comes back on, and you just hear, "All right, we get it. We're backing down. You won't get any more trouble from us."
Holding someone against their will is pretty shitty. You might want to rethink the way that your culture deals with things.
Look.
Cuts off the comms.
Okay, mid-excuse, I cut the comms off. You don't get to hear what he says in return.
Roll back around, back to the...
We see on the other ship just like, we're practically the peasantry. We don't get to... Oh, you're not listening anymore. All right. Fantastic. You redock on the Freya. Talon, you make your way over to the engine room as the ship continues to... You still have one functioning engine. You're not, like, out of commission. And you head over to try and get everything back to working order. You make your way down, and I think nervous for probably just the safety of the transportation, Taraka is going to follow you, Talon, just to sort of, like, see if she can lend assistance or what's going on. But you head down there, and she goes... This kind of thing happen often with ships like this?
From time to time. We're not exactly a space battle type of ship, but it does happen every once in a while that we have to defend ourselves.
I noticed. Well, you held your own fairly well. I appreciate your piloting and the fact that we're still up there in the stars, at least for the time being. Any way I can lend a hand, you let me know.
See all my tools over there? You can definitely hand them to me.
She, no like bitterness, no like snark, goes, yeah, you got it, and goes to help you out. Like, she seems genuinely like on board to help. Cool. Go ahead and give me a patch-up roll, and let's see if you can slap some duct tape on it.
10. That's expertise, right?
Fantastic. Yeah. So the actual like repairs of like the structural damage is going to take time, but you at the very least get the engine back to full functioning capacity right now. You reroute some things, you do what you need to do, you slide a disc back into place. You'll need a station to do proper repairs.
Good thing we're going to a station.
You are going to a station. But yeah, the ship is now flying at full capacity at the very least. It's just sort of a little leaky, looks a little banged up. And you guys make your way to the jump lane with no further pursuit, no further problem. You shook off your pursuers in perhaps the cleanest encounter the Freya has ever had. You guys take the jump lane, and in a few hours, you are back at the station of whatever that station was called.
Nobody remembers?
Something and then a number. And you guys, you can dock or you can just go. If you want to do more repairs, it will probably take a bit more payment and a bit more time if there's anything else going on, or you can just chart a course and go.
Okay.
I say we dock and repair everything else so that we have a smooth travel the rest of the way.
I don't disagree.
All right.
I'm just worried about them mustering a new attempt on us because they know that we escaped.
Shouldn't this be considered a neutral territory?
The
Kind of deal.
station is practically connected to the planet. They're close enough. No, that's true. It is not a station orbiting the planet. It was a jump away. Technically, it would not be legal for them to pursue this any further. Technically, it was not legal for them to do it in the first place. So,
Yeah. I think they're less likely to do a full bombing run on a little station like this.
Oh no,
So I think we're
I'm saying that we
relatively
need to
safe.
keep an eye out for ambushes because this gives them the chance to get ahead of us because they know which way she wants to go, right?
But not how.
Not necessarily.
no, I didn't have a specific destination in mind.
Oh well, fantastic.
I just wanted to get out off of this backwater planet into somewhere where I can actually have an impact on society and civilization again, get involved with things.
Well then, okay, so let's hope that they set up an ambush in a completely wrong part of space.
All right. Cool. You dock on the station. The dock workers there already know you. I think TAC gives you like a, oh, you guys got again? All right. I guess things on Malchus didn't go super great.
Don't worry
nope,
about it.
they were
We're
great.
fine.
They were
All
great. Your lead turned out to be a good one. Thank you, Tack.
Yeah, if you need to use a repair station, it's gonna be another cred. And Tarek immediately goes, I got it. That's all me, and goes and pays the fees.
Okay.
That's why we got them, L.
Shit.
Okay. You set the ship down for some repairs. It's not gonna take long. I think the crew works quickly. You guys probably have like the rest of the day, and then you can take off and first thing in the next morning. So is there anything you guys want to do while this is happening? You guys, anyone keeping any sort of watch? Or are you just skipping forward to the next day? What's the plan?
I'd probably be watching,
Cool. You two,
keeping an eye out.
sure.
Yeah, same.
Talon, do you have a thing?
Did I get any messages from my contact?
I don't think yet. It would take some time to get back to you anyway. So not as of yet, no. Anyone else? So,
Did they leave any messages? Because I had sent them other stuff before and told them we were on our way to the station.
no, unless there's like a job for you, they don't typically, they don't really reach out terribly often.
Okay.
So I don't think
Because I had requested any information about like the pain raw and stuff that they had.
Would they have sent any information with the pain raw? I think you may have gotten a message back at the very least, basically saying like there's word on the street. There's like rumors in the rumor mill is that there are pain raw out there and that people will pay a high price for them, but you don't really get any new information. Nothing you don't already know. It's all just speculation and conjecture. No one really knows what it is. Though I will say that's actually not quite true, because where that conjecture is coming from is from sort of a singular source. No one's been able to trace it yet. If you recall, the communique you intercepted that was for Illic explaining that there was 10 cred per pound of pain raw flesh was like one of those mysteriously signed things that was like signed with a letter.
Yeah,
Which
that's one of the things I was trying to find out who that was. Yeah,
which I believe was M. They say like they recognize like that as a thing, as one of the places where these rumors come from, this M offering to pay people for it, but there's never been any confirmed sales to follow. They don't know who M is. The best they can assume is that he's some sort of like either like wealthy elite asshole or like deep underground like crime organization leader.
Okay.
And they're still trying to pick apart which one it is, and there's no reason it can't be both. But they're working on that. They do believe he is at least currently operating out of this sector. But that's the only information they have.
Okay.
Cool. Ro, do you have anything to do during this time?
Yes. While the repairs are being done and stuff like that, I'm going to put in a little bit of extra money. Tell me if it's 1, 2, 3 credits.
Sure.
That's 3 is the maximum I can go. To have the cargo bay refitted as a launch bay, so that like it'll cut down on our cargo space because the ship has to take up one of the spots, like the fighter, but we'll be able to launch that ship properly even in space without vacuuming the entire cargo bay every time we open the doors.
That makes sense, yes. Cool, yeah. I don't think... I mean, these guys already like you, and you've been giving them a sizable amount of business. I think... it's just a conversion. I would say call this 1 cred. It's pretty much the equivalent of, like, sectioning off and making airtight a new area of the cargo bay, so you lose 1 cargo slot, and then you can just open that and jump freely from it. So
and little like launchers too, like. So okay, so when Halcyon gets back, I'll kind of like ta-da, so you don't have to like.
Halifax.
It's Halifax, so you don't have to tumble your fighter out while we're doing maneuvers. You can actually launch properly. And
thank you. I did. I mean, I would have been fine.
This is safer. You. And also, like, I'm imagining myself like standing there looking at the ship. I'm like, I'm thinking of installing sensor launchers, like probe launchers, at some point. We could do planetary scans from space. But that's for another time.
Yeah. You'll need. It's easy enough to install some airtight walls in there. High-tech scanning stuff, you'll need to find a more advanced place.
Like, this is me converting something that exists, not adding.
It's like driving into a Pep Boys and asking them to add nitro to your car. Which I'm going to do now, by the way.
Nice.
Good luck.
But when Ro like says all of that, like Halifax looks actually really like thankful and like, oh, no one's ever really done anything nice like that for me before. And then you start talking about like probes and scanning, and it's like, oh, okay, he's fine. Just
all
like
right.
The real reason.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to. I don't need rolls for your watches. I don't think this is like a see someone sneaking up on you kind of a thing. Some time is going to pass. While you are between watches, Halifax, it was never discussed exactly. So originally the plan had been to do a calculated wild jump because it was going to get you there faster, and you could also explore on the way. But that was also to save costs, and now you have funding, so to speak. So the choice comes down to the crew. You guys can meet and discuss this. Whatever you do, you're going to have advantage. Either you'll have advantage for cramped quarters because you have plenty of fuel and food, but you still need to do cramped quarters, or you'll have an advantage for a wild jump because you have time to calculate and make it precise if you want to get there faster and do exploring along the way. So what do you guys want to do?
I know the destination we're going. Wait.
Oh yeah, you are going to Oparia. Yeah. It is the Opal homeworld or the Opal core world. That's like there's no comparison for it. It's billions upon billions upon billions of people live there. It's a hub for all sorts of space travel. Pretty much every faction has some like embassies or sway there, except for the listeners because fuck the listeners. They don't get hubs on core worlds. No one wants them there. Unless no. It might actually be one of the few places listeners can't get to because even though their tech is nearly unbeatable, the sheer amount of defensive firepower they would have there would even be able to take out a listenership. So like the core worlds are I don't want to say as safe as it gets. Of course, there's dangers, but it's as safe as you can get when it comes to like. It's like going to. There's no comparison. You get the idea. So what's the
So, I don't really honestly have a preference because we're in a good spot right now that knock on wood or any type of surface, metal, whatever, nothing's gonna go wrong. Nothing's gonna go wrong. So, I'm leaving this up to a group vote involving also you, Your Highness Princess, Your Highness Ma'am.
Honestly, I didn't know you guys before. I can see you're legit now. Tarek is fine. Princess is fine. Whatever. I'm not picky.
Alright. Oh, well, ma'am, you were involved in the vote as well. So, let's hear it.
Not to undermine you, Captain, but unless any of us have really strong feelings one way or the other, I think it should actually come down to Taraka.
No. She immediately says, no, I'm not. I spent a lot of my life telling people how to do their jobs and what to do. You know what you're all capable of better than I do. If you think we'll be better off traveling the back roads, I trust you. If you think the long journey is something this ship and the crew is up for, then I trust you there. I will fund whatever's needed. Any expenses you meet along the way, I will cover, as long as it's nothing exorbitant. I can't buy you a new ship, but otherwise, I was going to say I trust your judgment.
From my side,
I wouldn't.
Okay.
Typically, I'd say the safer route's the better route, but I also don't know what the safer route is because it's easier to follow people on jump lanes anyway. So
That's what I was about to say. Is right now we've got one route that is fast but potentially unsafe, depending on what counter out there. We've got one route that is a known route, but it's slow. But also, if we get pegged again, like if we get spotted again by these loyalists, I guess you could call them, we could get
Hired assholes.
Yes. I mean, they might not be hired. They might just be really loyal assholes instead.
Okay, then just assholes.
Yeah. Personally, I would vote for the faster approach. I would like to get there as quickly as possible. The exploration, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, the exploration is secondary.
Who are you?
It hurts my soul to say that.
shit,
What is happening right now?
he's an Arundi clone. Shit.
The exploration is a nice bonus, but getting there as fast as possible reduces the amount of time that we have to get waylaid, so to speak. That is my vote. I vote for the jump.
On that note, question for Josh.
Please.
I know this might be a hard ask. What is, in terms of tracking, what would be a little bit harder to track in terms of like doing a wild jump or doing like a long route? I'm guessing a wild jump.
Yes,
definitely.
because it's tracking a ship is actually fairly difficult because you can get like a trajectory, but space is very big. If you are following a jump lane, you can still shake tails on a jump lane. You just need to be quick enough to get to the next lane before they can follow, and then it's guesswork. So it's still hard to track even there. But if you wild jump, because there's so much space, it's astronomically more difficult to track a wild jump because it's basically cool. They went in that direction. God knows how far, how fast, or if it went well, you know? So, wild jump. Yeah. Not a big ask at all.
Yeah.
Then, with that in mind, safest, least likely to track, probably do a wild jump then, is what I'm going to say. Not as captain, as Halifax Dewitt, who is giving his opinion.
Vexius from the ship's computer goes, "Who are you and what do you do with Halifax?" Where is the entire crew? Am I in an alternate reality?
Nope.
I completely agree, Captain. Wild jump.
Talon, no!
I just share a look with Hal of like, I think we might have made a mistake. Like if he's agreeing with us, then
phenomenal.
I would like to point out that I am the one who came up with the idea of getting a passenger.
All right. Cool your paws, all right? All right?
I'm just saying, you guys act like I have only terrible ideas.
You have wildly chaotic ideas that sometimes work.
That most of the time work, yes.
Sometimes work.
To be fair,
When have they not worked?
All right.
do you want an alphabetical or chronological list?
I need a list.
All
All
right.
right. Anyone else saying no to Wild Jump?
No, we're all good, I think.
Fantastic. We're going to do a Wild Jump then.
All right, everybody strap yourselves in.
Class dismissed.
All right, you guys finish. The ship finishes its repairs and its modifications, and you punch in the coordinates, which is what you're supposed to do for a wild jump, which is going, cool. We are pretty sure this is clear. Let's everyone brace yourself and strap in and whatnot. As you guys are getting ready and you sort of like take the ship off, you are pulling away from the station, and you see as you are kind of pulling away, another ship has like jumped in. There's a Class 3 starship that just kind of like starts cruising in, and there's a moment of time as kind of like Tarek Sillingham goes, "Oh hell, get us out of here!" And you hear you are pinged. You're hailed immediately.
Sorry, we're going through a tunnel. We can't hear you.
You can just jump. You're already prepped. You can get out.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna like ask if it's cool with her. Just gonna go.
You guys wild jump. I'll have you do the roll in a second. I just want you to, we cut over to the other ship where we see a well-armed, well-financed Class 3 starship with, in the captain's chair, wearing like a white and gold like militant uniform, is an incredibly snooty looking Torvani man who has a monocle on which looks absolutely ridiculous, with like the one side a big eye, and he just he sees the ship jump and he goes, "They just rejected my after them immediately," and one of the crew members turns and goes, "Captain, they wild jumped. You heard what I said." And that's it. We cut away from that ship. Like they have no way to follow you.
Hey, Captain! Oh my God!
All right, and you guys take off through space. Go ahead and give me that wild jump. This is a flat roll, but you have advantage. So
Cool.
let's see how this goes.
Money, no whammies. Fuck!
All whammies? Sounds like we got some whammies.
6.
With advantage?
Yes, I rolled a 1, and then I rolled 2 3s.
Oh no!
I hate
Right.
everything. I never want to wild jump ever again. Never again.
I will offer this.
Shall I be the pilot now?
No! Get out of here!
As loath as I am to take away an opportunity to fuck everything up,
Oh,
since you guys had the time to plan in charting a course even, if anyone wants to have gotten involved and helped to chart that course, we could potentially turn that failure into a mixed at the least.
I would like to try to get
Yeah.
involved.
Sean's like, "You're too nice." Hal, go.
and I thought I was too nice. I pulled my punches all the time, man. I'm like, look, you're talking to like a professional punch puller.
We're on episode 13, and you guys haven't had a good wild jump.
No, we haven't.
You've had okay wild jumps at best.
Let me in on a secret. That's the entire point of the wild jump. That's why I wrote it in the first place.
I don't want to wild jump ever again. Never again. Terrible. I hate it.
It's do I add my intellect or is it just another flat?
On a get involved for plotting a course? No, this is helping out for a wild jump. I've got to call it flat.
It's a 6!
All right, well, fuck it. There we are then.
The dice have spoken.
The dice truly have spoken.
I hate everything.
They wanted this to happen. You guys wild jump. Space is astronomically large. It is unfathomably, incomprehensibly large, which is where the moderate safety of wild jumping comes in, because there's a 99% chance that you're going to land in space and not in something else that's in space. Well, there's a 1% chance that you land in something else in space. Yes, Ethan, what's up?
Just for shits and giggles, I rolled another flat roll to see if I could help out at all. Another 6.
No, this is meant to be. This is a total party kill. Everyone make new characters. No.
And they were never seen again.
What are we doing inside of the sun? No.
Like, no lie, you won't believe how many one-shots that I've run for like conventions and stuff like that have ended with an escape using a wild jump that has ended in a failure. Like, it is surprising how often wild jumps fail, even though they shouldn't. And yet... Anyway.
I hate these dice. These are going away. I'm throwing them in the garbage. They are never seeing the light of day.
No, just put them in the shame cup until next time. That way they know what they've done. They won't learn their lesson if you don't put them in the shame cup.
I have a shame cup. I need to invest in one.
The ugliest
Josh,
cup that you own, basically.
Should we take a break and you tell us how we've completely fucked everything up when we come back?
That is a good point, actually. I wouldn't
Yeah,
the bathroom.
I do have something, but I'm all for that. Yeah, sure. Let's take a quick break, guys. I will see you in 5 to 10 minutes. We shall return. Bye.
I hate it. Bye.
And we're back. Alrighty. Welcome back, everyone. I'm just gonna do a quick check on the chat, make sure everyone's hanging in good there. Sweet, cool. Wow, this nice active chat tonight, which I love to see, but I also can't see or I will not play the game. So I'm closing chat. Y'all are great, and I love all of you. So, this just went very poorly. As you jump through space, you land in that 1% of, oops, there was something exactly where we appeared. Which means the alarms immediately start blaring as your ship appears not just in the middle of an asteroid field, but in the middle of an asteroid.
Oh boy.
Yes, Dan?
No.
Get your notepad. That was the wrong button. So Iced Bree, thank you so much for redeeming a name. Alfie.
Alfie?
Named,
As
after their puppy.
as name generator?
Nope. Iced Bree redeemed the
Yeah, name generator.
channel points
Yeah.
for a name. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you for the redemption.
So,
All right, name down. Got it. It's a good name. I was going to say something. I'm not going to say it. I'll say it later if I have to. Your ship appears, again, in an asteroid as just immediately alarms start blaring because where the asteroid appears on the ship, that chunk of ship is just ripped to pieces entirely. Hey, I'm gonna put this on. So the rough jump was made by Halifax, but the assistance which got us even worse, which caused this extra bad outcome, was Halcyon. So I'm gonna put this choice on you. Pick a part of the ship to be completely vaporized.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Are we going by the just a part of the ship, or are we going by the 4 components, or like what's the?
I'm gonna keep this open. So as a reminder, for the 4 components, there's engineering, there's quarters, there's the helm, and there's cargo. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So you can pick one of those, and I'll pick a section in it. Or if you have a specific thing in mind to be vaporized, you can choose a specific thing as well.
I just tried to eat pizza for some reason.
Stress?
Hey Dan, answer this question. Hold on, pizza. I'm gonna say the med bay.
I knew you were going to say the med bay.
Oh no!
Fuck me, am I
knew
right?
it. I knew
Oh
it. I fucking knew
Jesus!
it. Oh my god.
There, were you in the med bay? Would you have been in the med bay? I will tell you
Helping with.
before you answer that question.
If he was helping with the calculation.
He was helping, like that was preemptively to help
Before.
charge.
Yeah.
Fair.
I will say you can answer this question how you want. I will not judge you. You won't die, no matter what. I'm telling you, this is not
No,
going
I
to
know.
kill you if you say
know.
yes.
I would
but
have
no.
thought we would have all been strapped in, right? Like in our crash seats, kind of thing, right?
I figured that there's gotta be crash couches all over the place, just in case we have to do like that emergency maneuver.
With how many times the ships had to do it? Absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, like as a general thing, you don't know, like, oh hey, I'm in, the cargo bay. Oh shit, general alarm is going off for a jump. Instead of having to run all the way up to, the helm, just strap right in right here. So yeah, I would have been strapped in the med bay.
Fantastic. As alarms start blaring all over the Freya, and you immediately start spinning out in the middle of an asteroid field, Ro, you would see you wouldn't see that the medbay is missing. You would see that it's like power lost to medbay, and just like all the alarms are like triggered in that area, and the ship is spiraling. There's more asteroids hurtling towards you. You're still in vast amounts of danger. I'll get to Halcyon in a moment. The rest of you, as the ship spirals out of control, what do?
I want to try to at least get a bearing on the situation so that we can maneuver out of here the best we can.
Great. You immediately try to get your bearings straight as you sort of spiral. Obviously disadvantage. Go ahead and roll your expertise to fly this bad boy. Yes.
I'm going to try to assist that with basically pulling up a scan. Do you need?
I got a 10.
Oh, good. Okay.
Woo! Making up for it. Sweet. You functioning best in times of duress, Halifax, you quickly gain control of the ship, level it, duck under an asteroid. Whoever's sort of manning the shields, I imagine, gets the shields up, so the smaller asteroids start pinging off of you, and you get a chance to look around. And the ship is righted. This is a big asteroid field. You're not out of the asteroid field yet, but you are safely maneuvering. You're safely, like, kind of ducking and weaving around as the bigger ones that you can't get rid of come closer. Alarms keep blaring, and Gammon, like, runs onto the helm, shotgun, and goes, "What do I do?"
Everyone, what's your status?
Good here. You hear Vexius. The Hugo pings well. I'm safe. Shaken but safe.
Wait, Hugo? Isn't Hugo usually in the
medbay?
The medbay?
He would have been in his quarters.
No?
He goes to the medbay to
Okay.
help out if needed, but he would have been in his quarters.
Okay, thank goodness. All right. All right. I just since I'm assuming I'm at in the helm doing the scanning stuff.
Yep.
I just say, I'm fine, but we've got a major problem. We've got major issues down in the medbay.
You look around. Everyone else is up on the helm. Taraka and Talon is up on the helm, and that's when you notice that Halcyon has not reported back.
Yeah, come in. Fuck.
Gonna, like, shoot, like, kind of be, like, shoot up and, like, look around and, like, point to Talon and say...
Okay.
I'll go
Talon,
find him.
check on him. Please.
Talon, you make your way down there. Are you putting on any sort of, like, space gear, or are you just going?
I do tell them I'm getting
It's
hard vacuum, no energy. We might have a major hull breach down there.
Every alarm in the book, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Is alarms equals yes.
Then I will get my suit on.
Okay. You get your suit on and rush down, and that's when you see the damages. And you see
Oh, come on.
the med bay has been torn off in, like, this perfectly, like, asteroid-shaped, like, pocket. And the thing is, it's not even, like, the edge of the ship. So there's just, like, a hole, like, there's two, like, at the sides of the hull in two places, there's a little hole, and there's this sphere, like, in the middle of it, that the asteroid is broken apart. There's still chunks of stone stuck there, because the asteroid did not fare well either, but there's some chunks of stone that are there. You see, like, syringes stuck into some stone that's sort of, like, drifting through and kind of pink, pink, pinging off the shields every time. It's bad, and there's no sign of Halcyon.
I don't see Halcyon. Can I, like, how do I look for him?
You don't, from here you don't.
Okay.
Like, where you're looking right now, you're asteroids and space, you do not see Halcyon. Halifax, what was that? You cut out.
I was gonna say, what's the status? Like, give a
Well,
report.
the medical bay seems to be gone.
All right. Do you see him?
Nope. I see a lot of rocks and floating instruments. The couch he likes to use for jumps it's not there.
Just a cushion, just...
Are you picking up anything on your scanners, Ro?
And
Let me
at this-
scan for life signs.
At this, let me cut to Halcyon.
Ah.
Halcyon.
Space.
Halcyon, you, as you wild jump, you're sitting in your comfortable crash couch, and the problem with crash couches is they still rely on the ship's artificial atmosphere. It relies on that kind of being there. So when the chunk of that is removed, the suddenness of the stop is like accelerating to like sonic boom, like supersonic speeds on your body. It's incredibly jarring. It's incredibly bad. It's incredibly painful. And you briefly lose consciousness, which is probably for the best, because the pain would have been excruciating. When you come to, you are barely conscious, drifting through space. You can already feel the beginnings of your kind of cryo like defense mechanism kicking in. You have like maybe 2 minutes before you go into hibernation, so to speak. A quick glance around, you're again kind of spinning through space right now. A quick glance around shows you the asteroid field, which you are not shielded from in any way. You're sort of they're far enough apart that nothing's hit you yet. And you see the shields of the Freya a sizable distance away from you at this point. Not for a starship, like a starship can get to you pretty quickly, but you have no way to like get to them, and you are not exactly very obviously visible in the depths of space. What do you do, if anything?
Since I know exactly where the ship is, I am going to just immediately unclip and then just curl up and launch myself off towards the Freya.
Off of what?
The crash couch.
I don't know that there's enough of the crash couch left to like there's no resistance. So
there's enough of a surface that if I can, because in space every every action.
Okay, I'll grant you that. Yeah, go ahead.
Bless you, Al.
There's no advantage. There's no possible way for non-disadvantage. Go ahead and roll me.
I have the waitlist trait. I ignore clumsy.
Okay.
The trait or movement restrictions inflicted by microgravity, low grav, free fall climbing, and jump jets.
Sweet. Then I will go ahead and say, give me a finesse roll, please.
Okay.
Flat.
That's a 10.
Fantastic. You kick off. You're moving.
No, wait. Sorry. It says while, for a 10 plus, move while in those situations lets you describe a moment of exceptional acrobatic grace. I want Dan to describe this, please.
Thank you so much.
Put him on the spot.
Absolutely.
Okay. No,
Halcyon, what happens?
You think you can put me on the spot?
Keep in mind, you are diving into an asteroid field, so keep that in mind for your descriptions.
Yep. Halcyon, knowing that I'm going into an asteroid field, I would actually take my neural mask off and try to stop it somewhere relatively safe, because it's got, a cred of data on it effectively.
Not to mention it's an incredibly expensive piece of technology.
Yeah, I'd rather attach to it. And the camera just sees this spinning, and then just this black mass just arrow straight towards the Freya.
The asteroids are practically curving around you as you fly. Yeah.
And I'm swimmer's dive, just trying to wedge, use my hands and arms to try and deflect any asteroids coming towards me.
Truly incredible. Now, typically, that's not how asteroids work. You would 100% have your arm ripped off. But I think this is a fairly slow-moving asteroid belt, all things considered. So the ones that are slow enough they could be a problem, you can sort of use your carapace and sort of deflect off. You actually can use that to right your course along the way. Okay, you do it. So on the Freya, Ro, you turn on your life sign scanner and see the faint life sign of Halcyon soaring towards the ship.
Fading fast.
So, yeah.
Sorry.
So fading fast too. All right. I'm going to try to get a. So his composite materials, right, are fairly unique. We're not going to find those kind of composite materials in the asteroid field. Like what his
like what makes
of.
Yeah, I think Malleus
because
are
if his life signs are fading fast, that means I can't use them to track him afterwards. So I want to get a beat on him and be able to still track. It's like pixel tracking, like get the shape of the thing.
Yeah.
And I will say that he's trying to get back onto the ship. Thank goodness he doesn't need to breathe.
Of all the people to get launched into space.
Yeah. And
Trying to get connection to his neuromask. I'm gonna go out there.
And I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna start bolting towards my flyer.
So
I also have a flyer. I was going to do that. Mine has little arms that can grab.
Let the captain be daring, goddammit.
While running, just be like,
Too late, I'm already going.
Okay.
The captain called
Fuck
dibs.
me then.
all right, Sean, give me an intellect roll.
That is a 6, 1, and a +2, so that is a 9.
A 9. Okay. This works. You get a bead on the sort of material that makes the Malleus's kind of carapace. You kind of get a scan going so it will catch any Malleus you see. So if you lose the life signs, if he goes into hibernation, you will still be able to pick him up. What I'm going to put this on you because I'm not exactly sure how this could come back. What consequence is there to this? What does this take out from Ro that makes it harder or less successful or in some way detrimental?
I think that at this, it's basically going to be a matter of how long it takes me to get a beat on him and identify him. I think he's going to be too close to catch on the way in. We're going to have to chase.
Okay. So Halcyon is already on a good route, and Halifax takes off. Having to go chase is not a big deal because that's what Halifax is doing anyway right now. So
Yes.
The flyer goes out, and as you kind of navigate through, I think there's been enough mix and successes here that I don't want any more rolls. Seriously.
please, thank you.
There's enough you know how to fly a flyer. You're not in a dire situation. I mean, you are, but you already crushed, you had been navigating the Freya to make sure no asteroids hit you.
Yeah.
There's nobody at the helm
I
right
look
now.
I look at the empty captain's seat. I look back at my own console, and I'm like,
Shit.
looking back.
John jumps at the ship.
I was about to be literally before anything else happened, I would have also called Talon to take over the controls, but
Cool.
This works too. This is comedic. Let's
Yeah,
go.
no, this is fine. This is good.
Let's
Cool.
do it. Yeah.
Ship
Captain
stays.
gets up and runs to their little ship, his little ship.
Captain's still learning to delegate. So Halifax, you fly down and sort of catch on to Halcyon on the way. Halcyon, you manage to kind of hug the flyer as it comes towards you, and you can ferry him back to the ship. Ro, your scanner kicks to life, and the ship is still sort of navigating, and you peg Halcyon, Halifax, and just at the edge of the range in another direction, there's another Malleus ping. You catch more of that material within short range scanning distance, so not super close, but not far.
All right, tag all three. Keep tracking on them, and then put that as a secondary process. So now that I'm fairly sure that the two of them are okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go back to actually tracking all the vectors of the various asteroid bodies around us, so that we can navigate, right?
You do that.
Just the standard, okay, well, I am providing you with information. We've got stuff coming in. since you said they're moving slowly enough, it's not going to be like.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys navigate right back to the ship. Kind of at this point, it falls into a rhythm. You guys are still good at what you do. It just luck was not on your side previously. So you fall into a rhythm. You dodge the asteroids. The ship docks in the brand new docking bay.
Who put this asteroid field here?
Well, it's a good question, but you do appear to be out like far from civilized space. You don't know exactly where you are right now, and you'll need to do some more proper readings to get a feel for that. Luckily, the ship system, and I think VaTze is going to come and goes, with the exception of the obvious being the med bay, the ship does seem to be in fairly decent working order. That's all. No, nothing more to report at this time.
Okay, everything's
Thank you,
rerouted.
VaTze.
We haven't lost too much oxygen.
No, oxygen levels are holding. Hull integrity is bad, as one might expect. Currently, we're missing as big of a piece of the ship as we are. A stiff breeze could tear our ship apart, but otherwise, I think we're okay.
Well, it's a good thing there's no breezes in space.
As an asteroid, like barely, avoids you guys.
It's like, okay, do we know where we are? Oh, yes, I tell the rest of the crew. This is more of a matter of curiosity than anything else, but I have actually detected a third form. It is a dormant Malleus. Malleus? Malleus?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a dormant Malleus. I was tracking the two Hals, but as it turns out, I've got 3 sources, and there's one not too far away.
Let me actually.
He's gonna lean over Ro to kind of look at the Oh.
So we fast forward a second. You dock with Halcyon.
Yeah.
The two of you get onto the ship.
Yeah, it would just be leaning over and seeing the tracker and seeing if the blip moves too suddenly, if it's just mainly stationary, if it's moving
Gotcha.
around.
Absolutely. Also, Sean had to take.
I make my way to engineering to try to warm up.
Yeah. You did avoid going into your cryo sleep, but just barely. You head down to just lean on the radiator.
Yeah, basically just and stay there for a few minutes while I get some feeling back in my limbs.
Sweet. Halifax. It appears to be drifting. It's keeping steady course, steady pace. No sharp movements, no turns. This is whether it's on a ship or what the case may be, it is a drifting figure.
All right.
For my own consciousness, for my own morality, I suppose. I'm going to survey. I will let everyone know if I am bringing this person back or not. Is that fair?
Sure.
All right, then Halifax is going back out.
Okay. At this point, if you guys are going to remain in the asteroid field, or if you want to remain, I'm going to need a roll to remain, and if you want to get out, I need a roll to get out. I'm going to need at this point, because you are still in some semblance of danger, and the ship is not at its best right now, and an errant asteroid could destroy you.
Then I should probably get us out of the asteroid field and wait.
Yes. Yes, I would agree to that.
All right.
Talon, give me that expertise.
Math. 10. Yes.
Terrific. You guys needed some luck after what happened. The Freya moves out, and you guys settle outside of the asteroid field. Halifax, you take the flyer, move off to investigate, following the directions given to you by Ro. And it takes a second to spot. You have to kind of turn a light on in the front of it to through space to see, because at least with Halcyon, even though you guys are like jet black, there's still like clothes, like a coat or whatever.
Yeah.
This Malleus appears to just be completely just raw, naked, nothing. So it's like completely blends in with the void of space, until light hits it. But it is drifting, free, kind of limbs tucked in, and as one would in its cryosleep. This is like Rose predicted, a dormant Malleus that is making their way through space.
Does it appear to be in a struggling state before going into cryostasis?
No, but you also rarely do. It's very much sort of thing where it's like as it starts to come down, like it's never sudden that you go into cryostasis. It's a slow thing. So as you come down from it, you lose the ability to sort of fight and act. So it's more like a curled up thing because that's the safest you're going to be.
Okay. Then
there's no way to tell what was going on before this happened.
Okay. I'm gonna come back to the Freya and say,
yeah, this Malleus is down for the count. I'm going to bring them back on. We're not going to be able to get them to fully recover because that requires a lot of heat that we do not have. But yeah, I guess just letting everyone know. God, it's hard being a captain.
And
I would also remind the captain that we don't have a med bay at the moment.
Well, I mean, at this point, just leaving them probably at the docking station for right now is probably fine. It's not going to do any more harm than anything else. Kind of stuck until you get the heat source you need. So
Yeah, if we just leave them in the docking in the landing bay with the door open, so to say, they're not going to wake up anytime soon.
no. Well,
You would need to go very far out of your way to wake them up, so to speak. Not like literally, but they need to be exposed to anywhere between 700 and 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit to be woken from their cryosleep. So that's for the listener's sake. This is new information for these guys. So you would need to try very hard to wake them up. They're not going to wake up by accident.
Yeah.
No. So
We can hang them from a chain and put it right behind your flyer.
Oh my god.
I mean,
so I'm gonna with their curled up state, would it be fair to kind of I just mean in terms of like I'm gonna just say what I want to do and then say if it's okay. Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
Why am I making it complicated? So I wanted to kind of be like one of those situations where he literally just opens up like the hatch or something and then reaches out and like grabs their arm and like tugs them inward and then like closes the hatch again.
Flyers aren't super meant to open up in space. You would lose oxygen yourself, and there's a chance you would not make it back to the ship in time. It would be easier to like basically just push him in the right direction.
All right.
But he doesn't need oxygen. Why would it matter if he opened the ship?
Because if you spend too long without oxygen, you will. Oh no, that's fair. No, that's the temperature thing. Okay, yeah, no, never mind. You're good. Fair point.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Great.
Then I just want to
grab, pull in. Bit of a tight squeeze with this unconscious comatose Malleus.
Make room. Just shove him in like a corner or something.
And fun fact, while we're talking about the genetics of creatures and biology, impossible to tell the gender of a Malleus from the exterior. There's no external difference of gender. It's all down to what they internal biology and what they believe. So they for now. As you bring this Malleus into the flyer and cruise your way back to the ship, you settle in your docking bay and
just kind of step out and kind of like position the Malleus a lot more appropriately. So now it's just like in a fetal position on the seat, and just kind of give like a nice like awkward like pat on the back, and just kind of like to himself say,
It's gonna be okay. Be fine.
Some immediate things you notice as you're taking the time to settle this Malleus in. They do not have a neural mask.
okay.
And perhaps more shocking and key than that, as you sort of take note of that, turning their head to one side, they don't have the holes a neural mask would go in. They did. You don't know what that means, but they couldn't plug. You couldn't plug a neural mask into this Malleus if you wanted. Ethan has ideas.
They're old.
Yeah, like this could be like an ancient like Malleus here.
Very well.
One of the first, possibly.
Certainly
First
one.
Maybe.
Certainly many generations old. That's very possible.
Yeah. Just like a
Not gonna worry about that right
just like shut the hatch. Just like, all right, let's just get out of here and heading back up to navigations.
All right, you do that. You make your way back up to the helm. This ship is out of the asteroid field. You guys are safe for the present moment. And I think for the first time, sort of, she's been hanging back to kind of let you guys handle the Krez situation, but Tarika is going to kind of stand up at this point and be like, are we going to make it? Are we going to be all right?
Now.
Yes, we're gonna be fine.
Pointed look towards Talon before turning back.
The excessive
I
volume
can plot the course.
The excessive volume you said that at does not fill me with any confidence.
I just know that Talon likes to say things, and a lot of people believe him. So.
Well, we lost the med bay. So
You said we're
nobody
fine. I
got
said
injured.
we're fine. We said the same thing. Why are you mad at me?
Whenever you say well, it usually means something different. So. We'll be fine.
Talon.
It's very selective times. Very selective.
we also see quietly in the background, so Halcyon sort of tried to interject with nobody get injured. We just see it quietly in the background, and Gammon just sort of go, that's it. Okay. You guys have some figuring to do, because you are not on a course right now.
Yep. I think
We
just
should
like-
probably figure out where we are.
Yeah, I think that would be a good starting place, especially now that we're out of there. So,
Okay.
do that.
Ro would probably do that, and he's not here at this exact second. I don't know how long he's going to be on this call. This was something we knew about ahead of time that might happen, and that's... Oh, wait.
Yes.
Sorry.
Uh,
I'm sorry. I'm back. I'm back.
No,
I'm
that
back.
timing
I'm
was
back.
perfect. You're great.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Amazing.
What you missed is actually... your character wouldn't know, so it's fine to not... The Malleus was brought on board. That's what...
Okay.
That's the main thing which you need to
And they're probably very, very old.
Yes. But that is...
Okay. So now you've piqued my curiosity.
But that is something that currently only Halifax knows. Halifax has not shared that information yet, which is...
Okay.
I have
Yeah.
not.
So Sean's curiosity can be piqued, Rose is not yet.
Right. Fair enough.
So basically right now, everything is finally situated. You are no longer in immediate peril, and eyes have turned to you to figure out where we are.
All right. Well, let's get out those star charts. And I guess I'm going to do an assessment using the star charts. Of,
Absolutely.
where we are.
Give me that,
All right.
Yeah.
give me that intellect.
Gather round, whoever wants to learn a little bit more about the space that we live in.
Getting ready for your lecture already, I see.
Yes. If you want to find out what part of the galaxy we're in, first you must. There's a 5 and 4, 9 plus 2, 11.
Fantastic. You get a data point, which you can use to help you navigate back to charted space, because you are currently
Yes.
in uncharted space.
And I will use my education to give everybody that data point.
Incredible. So
Yes.
everyone, you have a data point. When taking actions to get yourself back on track, you can give yourself advantage for one roll. Cool. You are not. You didn't leave the sector, but you are.
That's good.
You're still in the Opal sector. You recognize
Great.
that.
I love that.
You didn't get closer to your destination. You didn't get farther from your destination. When you sort of figure out basically what happened, which is when you hit that asteroid, you actually think the asteroid you hit, probably wasn't actually the asteroid field you're in now. You would have clocked an asteroid field in your charts. You hit a random asteroid and basically skipping stone ping-ponged in several directions before you came out of the jump. So
oh shit.
So you sort of went, if the destination's here and you guys were here, you went pew 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 and sort of landed over here. So
sort of laterally, like.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
okay.
That said, the area you spun into is still as far away as you initially were, and incredibly far from any jump lanes.
You said area, not era, right?
Yes, correct. You did not time travel.
Not again!
I'm not the only one who heard the word era, right?
Correct. I heard it too.
Sorry. So there's no jump lanes nearby, and considering that you can't that was a calculated wild jump, and you can't do one of those right now, because you don't know enough about where you are to do that. Though actually you could get the advantage from that data point if you did want to wild jump again. But otherwise you're going to be free flying for a hot minute before you get back to the jump lane. When I say a hot minute, I mean like a few weeks. So there will be a pretty nasty cramped quarters.
Yeah, we probably don't have enough supplies for that amount, so we're going to have that issue.
Yeah, that would be a disadvantaged cramped quarters to get back to where you're going, because you don't have any place to stop and refuel. Unless you get lucky and find one.
Another wild jump.
Halcyon, I will say that Halcyon would be the first one to say that.
We can always do it again.
I mean, we could wild jump again.
What are the chances we hit another asteroid, Gammon shrugs?
I was about to say the same thing.
Exactly.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
I'm going to mimic that. Have you not heard of sunk cost fallacy? Like.
No, I have, but honestly.
But I mean, that was like a 1% chance of hitting an asteroid,
that's
right?
That's not how probability works.
It is actually.
I'm just saying.
A 1% chance again.
Again.
It's not cumulative. It's just very low percentage.
The odds aren't better that we are going to hit an asteroid, are they? They're
They
the
aren't
same,
worse.
correct?
They're
Exactly.
exactly the same chance.
And they were not very good in the first place. So let's
All
try.
right.
Unlucky.
All right, fine. All right. We'll try again.
Right.
Take 2.
Are you just doing right away, just jumping immediately?
Oh,
No, just like
You can. Like, you can, again, you have that information. You can give yourself advantage on it again.
Yes, I will, but it's definitely more of like all right, I'm going to check again and make sure that we don't fuck it up again. Just like,
Do you want a hand with that?
No.
No, I do not need a hand. Thank you, Halcyon. You're very much appreciated. I'm glad you did not go into cryo state. You're great.
Do you want me
I'm
to
glad
do
I
it?
didn't freeze up either.
Let's.
I would assume that my like navigation stuff has already been.
Yeah,
it counts. As
That's
me
why
helping her.
you have advantage. You can use your data point that you were given to
Yeah.
give yourself advantage in the wild jump.
I'm just gonna put my hands out and say,
I just need a little bit of space. That's all I'm asking.
We kind of see the camera pan around the helm as we see like the various just like you guys like Halcyon and Talon like yeah sure like let's wild jump again. You were the ones kind of preaching for it. Ro, what do you look like in this moment? How's Ro feeling?
You know what? Yes, exactly.
Perfect. We see.
I am going to do the Kif Croaker sigh.
We see Tarek, who is keeping her mouth shut, but there's very much a she is currently coming to terms with the fact that she will either live or die right now, and in her mind it's a coin flip, and she's like, well, if this is how I die, at least I don't have to go back.
If you are anxious about it, Captain, I can chart the course.
No, I got it.
Okay.
I have it. It's fine.
We see Vexius in the computers. We see it's that sort of that whirring you hear when the when the processing power goes up. He's just sort of nervous. And we see Gammon in the back still trying to figure out what a sunk cost fallacy is. And you may go ahead and make your wild jump roll.
I feel like as the course is being plotted, Halcyon is gonna just kind of sidle up next to Tarek and be like, well, think of it this way. Think of it this way, Princess. Your family's not going to expect you to show up anywhere in this rust bucket, right? So, added security.
If they manage to follow us where we went, I don't think they're going to expect me to show up anywhere. So, yeah, I'll grant you that. This is our first successful wild jump. Woo! We've had a mixed
campaign's over, guys.
Oh, yeah, everyone go home. You wild jump into paradise. You all live happily ever after. Corporate regimes crumble beneath your gaze. What a successful wild jump means is there is a list of things you can find when you wild jump. Typically, except for a failure, which is objectively bad, but even this one you sort of discovered something. Wild jumps do result in discoveries, and on a 10+, you get to decide what you discover. The list of things, if I am correct, is a supernatural phenomena of some kind, a wreckage with something you can salvage or discover, a new culture, resources there for the taking, or an uncharted world ready to be explored.
I pulled it up.
Okay, great.
So you are right. There's just one more that we didn't say.
Ooh, what's the other one?
Encounter a faction or culture that is new to you.
Wonderful. So you get to go ahead and take your pick.
I would point out that a ship that we can salvage from might help us repair the med bay.
Yeah. That was kind of my first thoughts. I would say resources to take.
Resources there for the taking?
Yeah.
Please hold.
Holding.
Okay. Perfect. You jump, and when you land, you're still in uncharted space, but you're now much closer. First off, you are still going towards your destination, so you jump effectively halfway there. Still in uncharted space, this area is just sort of just a big pocket galaxy that no one's really had a chance to dive into yet. But you are much, much closer to being back to where you are. You are now you can cruise back into charted space over the course of a day or two. But when you land, first off, the first thing you notice, no new missing systems, no asteroid fields, no immediate sign of danger. What you do see, hold up. Actually, let me. Yeah. What you do see is a nearby planet. It's not near enough that you're we're suddenly there, but it's off in that direction. You can see a planet sort of spinning, sort of a rust brown and gray sort of a coloring to it, and close enough that a scan will tell you more information about that planet.
Cool.
See, I knew we should have installed a probe launcher.
Tarka opens her eyes and goes, "All right, still alive."
I defer to the captain.
We'll get there with the probes. Don't slow your roll there. But I would say let's look, because I would like to stand on solid ground for a few minutes, because if I had a mouth, I would puke. So let's just land for a little bit and see what comes of this.
Sounds good.
All right.
Claps his hands together, rubs them, and briskly walks off to his quarters, where his hazard suit and all of his reconnaissance gear and everything like that. Awesome. He is very happy to be going to another planet.
Halcyon goes to his quarters and is just standing in front of the void that was the med bay. Right.
That's true. Ro hasn't seen the actual damage, so I'm imagining this kind of like, jaunty walk, and then the double take stop of like, passing by and like, whoa, what the heck?
Absolutely. Okay.
I give a bereaved, pat on the shoulder, like grab him around one shoulder and pat him on the other shoulder, like, it's okay, bud, it's okay.
I feel like this is my fault. I don't know why, but I feel like this is my fault.
You cannot blame yourself for the effects of space travel.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not like you helped chart the course or anything.
I send him off. It's totally his fault.
All right. You guys move the ship closer to that planet to hopefully get some resources and solid ground for a hot minute. And you make your way over there. There is sort of, as you get closer, you get a better look on it. It doesn't look super advanced, at least not from space, but it does look like it must at least be populated. It's not unheard of to find populated planets in uncharted space, so sometimes it'll be with either forgotten races, that like people that never made it to space yet at all, or people that colonized the planet and then were left behind, and they sort of like, usually some sort of world war happens and they tear themselves apart and they have to start from scratch and rebuild up. So you'll find familiar races on planets like this, even if they're in uncharted space. Or it could just be they were cut off and lost during the last great faction war, which was not terribly long ago, all things considered. But it does appear to have, like, you can see in the distance, like, metal structures and like various kind of things like that. The coloring, you can tell, like, this is not like rock formations. This is metal. This is something is here. What do you guys bringing her down, or was there? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You take the ship in, and as you guys are preparing to land and disembark, the first thing you need to do is find a place to land. As you enter the atmosphere and get closer to the planet, you see the planet definitely has signs of life. Even though you don't see life itself, you see signs of like civilization. It's the part of the planet you're landing in looks like a scrapyard. It looks like there's just like tons of like various like shipwrecks. Not like ships crashed here, just like broken ship parts, things where like things have been salvaged and torn apart. You wanted resources. This planet, like as far as the eye can see. There's just like tons
Talon's eyes just get really big.
There's not a lot when it comes to like a landing bay. There's not really a like, oh cool, we'll put the ship down here. There's no open clearings. It's like, imagine seeing like a junkyard like on Earth and just like multiplying it like 10-fold or 1,000-fold. It's this huge, just like as far as the eye can see, junkyard. There's some piles of scrap that are a little flatter than other ones, but
Did we land on Sakaar?
I don't know what that is, so maybe.
That's the one in Thor Ragnarok.
No.
Okay.
I would say anything that's kind of relatively flat, so it doesn't scratch anything.
You pick a spot as best as you can. Set the boy down. Kind of things crumble and clatter as the pile is like flattened a little bit beneath the weight of the ship. Settles. Kind of you have to pick it up and put it down a few times before it finally like, okay, cool. It's pretty sturdy here. And before the shields go off, and the ship refills oxygen. Its supply was dwindling. It was enough to get by, but it was dwindling. So it refills with oxygen, and you guys are on a new planet. Looking around as you disembark. First off, you all do see if you want to take a glance, you can see the Malleus that is still curled up in the flyer, or just in the docking bay.
It was in the flyer, just so that like it doesn't like. Because the thing with Malleus is that they take up a lot of like in terms of like taking in like heat, It just turns everything into like an icebox. So trying to limit that as much as possible.
Yeah. In fact, I think actually the glass like viewport over the flyer has like frosted over at this point with what little moisture is in there. But if anyone is curious to look closer, you could as you walk out. And if not, that's fine. Absolutely.
Babe.
Absolutely.
I would go through and do as good of a medical diagnosis as I can.
Okay. Are you seeing if everyone wants to wait for you, or are you doing this as the others step out into the planet to begin to explore?
Either or. I don't think Hal, as passing, Hal would definitely just be like, oh, right, gotta do this. I'm a fucking doctor.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. So you you pop the flyer open, and start doing a basic medical exam. Again, first thing you notice is oh, sorry, what's up, Halifax?
I was just gonna say, like, seeing like Hal instinctively like go to the flyer, I would have like stayed behind and like probably like come up beside him just to see what he thought.
Talon is also curious.
All right. So 3 of the crew stops. At this point, I think even like Taraka and Gammon are going to come over at that point too. So, Ro, are you getting first set foot on the planet, or are you checking out the mountains?
Absolutely, I am. Are you
kidding? Incredible.
I expect no less.
Ro, we'll be with you. We'll be with you in a second. You guys can all see what Halifax already knew, which is that this Malleus has no neural mask nor no ports for a neural mask. Which likely means, as you guys already conjectured, this Malleus is likely from a time long before they evolved those ports in the first place. How that happened, brief bit of history because you two would know it. It started out with them being installed like cybernetically, and then so many Malleus did that over so many generations that it started to just kind of new Malleus be born with it. Their genetics slowly altered and evolved over time to just like have those ports built in when they're born, so that they can hook up to a neural mask automatically. And this one is from a time.
Cool fucking race.
Right?
They're so fucking cool.
Well, thank you very much. But yeah, this one does not have that. They are from a time before that. It would look like.
Yeah.
So
Otherwise,
roughly
how
long
do they
ago was
look?
that?
That's one of those things like no one really knows how long ago that was. That's
long before the faction wars.
Oh my god, long like faction wars were like the equivalent of like 40 to 50 years ago. This is more like this is in the thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
This would be like this is a huge amount of time.
This is a person that this is a Malleus out of time.
This is before the majority of known space was colonized, before Malleus joined the space race.
Yeah. Well, when they were the space race.
They literally raced through space.
Otherwise, how do they look?
There's no sign. Go ahead. Give me an assessment with your intellect. Let's see how they look. Yeah, you know medical. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, and this is a Malleus. This is like
you literally. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, okay, that's a 12.
A 12, fantastic. You get a data point. They appear to be in good health. Not breathing because they don't, but you recognize that this is not death. This is cryostasis. That would have been clear just from the frost on the windshield, like they're still alive. but they do seem to be fine. There's no open injuries. There is some scarring beneath certain plates. There's actually one of their carapace plates that seems to have been at one point removed and then surgically reattached, it looks like, based on some, like, it's kind of like stitched on in a very, like, proper way. It's not like a brutal or barbaric thing, but that does seem like that's something that's been done. There are signs of incisions, like this person's been, this Malleus has perhaps been tested on or undergone medical procedures.
Do we want to wake him up, or do we want to wait for that?
We cannot wake them up yet. Unless you want to turn the reactor to full for the next, I don't know, half cycle.
It doesn't take that long.
We don't have that kind of heat on the ship to fully bring them back.
Not
quickly.
safely, no.
Yeah. So, low and slow for half a cycle should bring them back, but we don't have fuel for that.
Did you just relate that to cooking?
Well, that's effectively what you're doing.
I know, I get that. It's just I was going to make that, and I thought it would be offensive. But then you said it.
And now he's very upset that he could be offensive.
I mean, if it came from your mouth to anybody who's not me, I'm not going to speak for you, Hal, but it would probably come across as relatively offensive.
He gives kind of a shrug and says,
It's a lot like pizza dough. You just gotta cook it, and it'll be pizza. That's what I'm assuming how pizza's made.
But
I mean,
ideally, the more
have
heat
an
you
oven.
apply, the faster they wake up. But we don't. Our reactor does. Our ship reactor doesn't have that, so we would have to have the reactor on at full, more than full if possible, for months and months and months in order to actually wake them up.
I would also rather wait until they know the area is secure, because they're probably not going to be too happy waking up, regardless of what's
Should have a med bay.
that too. Yeah, that too.
So dangling him behind the engine as they like blast at him, that's not going to work?
That would kill them.
Well, it's debatable.
it would
Nope.
be...
Talon, that would kill them.
There are old wives' tales of Malleus going into cryostasis and just being launched into a star to wake them up. No one knows if this is a real scientific method, but people talk
I'm not
about
telling
it.
him that. I'm not telling him that.
I think in response, Halifax would say,
It would be really rude.
That too.
That's fair. I wouldn't want to wake up with an engine blasting in my face either.
Exactly. We're people too.
That would be the equivalent of waking someone up with an air horn, wouldn't it?
With like a dozen air horns.
Just brrrr. Oh, yeah, they're awake, but like, are they still alive after that?
At
Who
what
knows?
cost?
Yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, you guys can debate Malleus waking protocols all you want, but meanwhile,
Well, I was going to bring up
sorry.
one more point, not directly related to waking them up. And we also have to think about the fact that they don't have, a neuromask the way we do, and I mean, I don't think I'm from the Opal sector, and I.
To be fair, you don't know if they are either.
Exactly. I don't know if we're from the same sector. I don't know how our sign language has evolved since then. So communication is going to be rough at best.
Mm-hmm. All right. You guys decide to wait on the Malleus. Ro, you step out. The sort of like descending ramp comes down. and you get your moment. Talon isn't here to steal your thunder this time. Gammon has followed you. I think he's probably noticed you going, sort of follows along, and he's got his shotgun out, and he's watching for you to he's waiting for you to do your thing excitedly.
All right, so take an appropriate pose, or at least a pose that I've seen represented in various Hollow novels and that kind of thing. Look out on the over this vast land of junk. Could be a little bit more picturesque, but there's lore here. There's discovery, and take that first step, pause for dramatic effect, and then immediately reach over my shoulder and start pulling out my survey kit stuff, and walking a little bit further afield to find a good spot to set up.
As soon as you take your first step, Gammon goes, woohoo! And fires a shotgun into the air a few times. Pew, pew, pew! Just kind of gives you a celebratory, you actually notice, you don't know, this is a new weapon. You don't know what he had done to this, but as he fires, the lasers that shoot into the air are, red, blue, yellow. The lasers seems to be able to at will change the color of the lasers he fires, which he seems incredibly excited about.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm so glad that you were here to witness that.
Me too. You get so excited about it. It's cute.
Oh, it's great fun. I will ask, however, that please do not shoot anything until we're sure that it's a threat.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Puts the gun away. I had not thought of that at all.
Yeah, just in case. Also, we don't know how much of the machinery here still has explosive stuff inside it. For all we know, we could set off a chain reaction explosion that would kill us all. You don't want to kill us all.
A warning, not a cool.
Yes. Gotcha. Once we leave the planet, if it should so happen that we need the planet to not be here anymore, we can take a few pot shots at it from space.
You can't say that, because then I'm going to get upset if it does need to be here and I don't get to do that.
I'll pause for a second and think, I mean, it's basically a junkyard. Shooting things at it is not going to make things any worse.
He reaches for a shotgun.
With the point defense guns when we're back in space.
I know.
Yes.
All right, Gammon will follow you out, and you start setting up your survey kit.
I am going to make a reconnaissance. So it is a assessment about the wilderness that we are around. I am basically not going to go exploring myself because I do not have a list of needs. I'm leaving that to the engineering people and the pilot and the captain and so forth.
Sure.
What I want to do is make sure that they don't kill themselves by, just generally checking things out in reconnaissance, right?
That's A+, absolutely, yeah.
All right, let's do this. Also, if it should so happen, I can ping my survival for food, water, medicine, and shelter. Ooh,
absolutely.
There's not going to be much medicine around here. Maybe there will be, but
there's wrecked ships. Absolutely, there will be.
Okay, yes, because our medical supplies are currently spread across the galaxy, except for what vials and stuff like that you fitted into your arms. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm assuming that all our major med kits were all in nicely stored cupboards and that kind of thing. That currently.
I've got enough for a couple boo-boos, and that's it.
Alrighty. Would you want me to do this with force as an actual physical exploration, or can I use intellect?
You have your survey kit for that very reason. I think intellect's fine.
If you wanted me to go actually digging, that's the kind of
that's if
force.
You want to go actually digging. Let's see what the survey kit can tell you first, and then we'll go from there.
All right, that's a 5 and 4. That's a 9 plus 2, 11.
Fantastic. Yeah, you get a good read on this place. You literally have to set it up in. You have to kind of sheepishly go back onto the deck of the cargo bay because there's no flat surface to set the survey kit up on. Everything's an absolute mess out there. The first thing you note is that there's about 1,000 structural faults, every 20 feet, just because it's a junkyard. There's no actual body or structure here. What you're seeing.
How deep is this?
So what you're seeing is not buildings that have deteriorated. It's literally a vast expanse that there is a bunch of junk and stuff on top of. It must have taken like centuries to build all of this up from wherever it came from, and what happened to strands it all here is unknown. How deep it is varies. It seems that the point you're at, you'd have to dig through about like 30 to 40 feet of various metal scrap to get to any sort of ground or surface. There are some points you can ping no more than a half mile out where it's like much closer, so you can only like lift some plates up and like get to the ground level. I think you get there's not a lot of functioning power sources. There's a couple. Okay. There's some. Some of this junk is still good. So some of the power sources you get like, oh cool, like you actually see there's one coming from over there where you see like a power cell like kind of faintly glowing from under one of the scrap heaps. Like there's still usable resources here. You came seeking resources and you found them other all resources. It seems like. Right. The main mystery being how they got here, why this hasn't been discovered, so on and so forth. Any more questions that you think you get from your survey kit?
I think that is good. Aside from like, making a note of. Oh, actually, given the shape of the stuff here, we're talking about mostly starships, right?
Mostly starships, yes. Though there do seem to be other, like, land vehicles as well. Land vehicles or flyers. Things that make you believe that maybe there was a society here at some point before this that came here.
Okay. Or but it's not like I'm not detecting, let's say, concrete and rebar infrastructure. I'm not finding, like... Am I finding buildings?
No.
Shaped-wise?
At least not as far as your survey kit scans out to, no.
All right. And somebody used the location of the galaxy to get a advantage on the dice roll, right?
Yes.
That one has been used? Okay, cool. Anybody who wants it, we have 3, because of my reconnaissance perk, we have 3 data points having to do with the local area of junk. I don't know what you would call that as far as like the data point goes. What would be like because I'm looking for actually I was looking specifically for hazards. So a data point about junk hazards, I'll call them. So if anybody runs into an issue where they need to avoid getting trapped, crushed, falling, dead falls, whatever, electrocuted, exploded, yada yada yada, I'm basically going to come back in with, here's the list of things that could kill you, please avoid them.
Absolutely.
So cool. I'm going to go back in and educate everybody about that. So anybody can use the 3 data points, one of the 3 data points for junk hazards.
Sweet. And you find them all huddled around Halifax's flyer looking at this hibernating Malleus.
I am saddened that my stepping on a new planet was not met with more... You know what? I'm going to wait for them to be done and... Are
you going to do it again?
Do it again? No. Yes, actually. Gammon and I go to Gammon and I'm like, okay, get your gun ready.
Okay. Say no more.
On the safest, the least lethal setting possible, so that we just want a good light show.
Yeah, this has a stun setting now.
That is fantastic, and I'll basically we'll chat until everybody else is done with what they're doing, and then I'm going to step onto the planet again.
Gammon plays it up as if it's the first time, and now with permission goes even like, whoa! Screaming and just pew, 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 just firing a Technicolor light show into the air, just like screaming and just cheering.
All right, so and then I will do the big like spread my arms open. Welcome to this giant junk heap of a planet. Please watch your step. No, I'm not joking, by the way. That is very serious. Please watch your step.
Gammon staggers, catches himself. Yeah, that's real.
Ro.
Yes.
We have a Malleus from before the faction wars.
So eyes are already big, but like the pupils kind of dilate slightly.
That's
hell with this planet.
That's too hell. Whoa! Wait! They're still in stasis, and we're not going to wake them up. But
ice, very wise.
your brain thinking you're better with languages and ancient stuff better than me. I can feel things.
Which I had access to the main. Oh,
we'll get there. We'll get there
Yes.
when we get to the
Hey,
the
Ro,
core.
this is going to be another feather in your cap when we get to your people on that planet.
absolutely it will. Absolutely it will. This is.
Start.
I discovered the pain raw, and I found this ancient space caveman.
Hey, ancient Malleus. But
Ancient
start
space Malleus
your brain
caveman.
thinking about where you could research ancient Malleus dialect, hand signals or writing, because I'm sure whatever Halifax and I have are out of date or up to date, maybe.
If
Would be better.
you want to, Halcyon, if you want to make an intellect roll to see what you know about how Malleus used to communicate, you're welcome to.
Sure. I know jack shit.
Okay, I'm not going to cause any problem for this. You just don't know it. You don't know anything.
Yeah.
Halifax, same
I
thing.
tried.
Absolutely.
Yay!
If you ace this, I'm gonna be so mad.
8.
Mixed success. I don't think you know how they communicated, but you know there wasn't sign language involved. They didn't have a language,
Really?
strictly speaking. Sign language is something that came along after the fact. As the Malleus evolved, they became less intuitive and more kind of civilized. They got more
Okay.
They developed language to learn to fit in with the rest of the races that used that. Before that,
That
they
makes sense.
didn't need language to communicate. They still communicated. You
Point.
don't know how. You don't know if it was primitive or if it was something that they used to have that was evolved out of, but it was not sign language. So if this person is as old as you think they are, communication through sign language will be impossible.
I'm totally
So-
stealing this joke, and I apologize for that, but this is too good of a moment to pass it up. If a Malleus is missing an arm, is that a speech impediment or an accent?
Oh my god.
Yes.
I'm so mad at you.
You adapt. And honestly, to be honest with you, Talon, sign language is used nowadays in situations where we lose our mask breaks. Hal and I come from different sectors, so while there is a little bit of overlap between our different sign languages, it's not perfect. We can barely communicate simple thoughts with sign language.
Simple phrases,
Yeah.
not quantum physics.
Like fire bad.
Ro has gotten that,
kind
that,
of.
that 1,000-yard stare when he's internally he's thinking about okay, wait. I need to get things in order. First off, please, everybody gather around.
Oh.
I have done an initial exploration.
Oh, no. Okay.
All right, let's see. Hold up. And basically launch into my spiel about here are all the hazards that you're going to have to avoid if you're heading out there. And I give them the whole thing of it may look relatively flat, but the ground level beneath this is very sharply different. So be aware that if you happen to fall down, you could end up falling through several very large open ship hulls before you actually hit ground. Just, there may be caves, there may be a lot of things. Also, there are still a few active batteries and that kind of thing. So fuel cells that might go kablooey. I look specifically at a certain shotgun wielder who...
It's all good. Laser set to green. We're good.
I
Okay.
am going to stay on the ship. I'm going to keep in communication with you, but as the resident linguist, I'm going to have to figure out some way of communicating. I am going to start with a few texts from, meaning absolutely no offense to anybody involved, texts for communication with pre-spaceflight species, potentially primitives, and work from there, because we can at least go through a few physiological commonalities with arm gestures, head, and so forth. We are at least all bipeds. Again, yeah, present company accepted, I say, pointing to the cat. We at least, I say, pointing specifically to the other bipeds in the room, have these bipedal bodies. I was about to say, wait, don't you guys just inhabit these? Or I'm thinking of the other robotic species, or...
Yeah, you're thinking
You're
of
thinking
Cyaxi.
Cyaxi.
I'm thinking of the Soxy.
Malleus
sorry,
are all
yes.
biological.
Yeah, because talking to ancient Soxy wouldn't work, because having humanoid bodies would be an affectation that they would have done to feel more comfortable around the rest of us. So, all right. Please keep in touch. Have fun dumpster diving, I guess.
That is basically what we're doing. So thank you. Yes, we will enjoy ourselves.
Okay.
Planet-wide dumpster dive.
Looking out at this scrapyard, does it appear that all of these, at least the ships that we see, are they all of the same style, like
No.
aesthetic? It's like a hodgepodge.
Absolute hodgepodge, yeah.
Okay, so this is an actual, like, possibly interstellar scrapyard, not just a planetary scrapyard.
Seems that way, yes.
Okay.
Hey, Ro.
Yes.
I'm curious about something. Well, two things, actually. One is, are you able to pick up any medical supplies?
Yes, absolutely. And I will give him a readout. I'm going to use my survival at this point to scrounge up food, water, medicine, shelter. So basically, I can at least give you positions of... This one looks like it's in the shape of a medical ship. There's what appears to be like a sky car that was an ambulance of some kind that away, and I'll ping out a few points where I think that are at least you'll be able to find some stuff. We'll be able to resupply there.
And the other question I have for you before I go is, are you able... I've got a funny feeling about this place, with how deep you said it is, and we're in uncharted space.
Mm-hmm. It is an uncharted world.
How...
That's the name of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. roll credits, right? When you say the name of the thing, you have to roll credits.
Yeah. How are you able to gate any of these ships?
Gate?
Because figure, not like wine and dine them, but figure out when they were made, maybe when they crashed here.
Date.
Because I have a feeling that if this is an uncharted planet, then
where'd all these ships come from?
Where did all the ships come from? And I think they came here before the faction wars. They had to have. And then,
given their advanced, I'm assuming that they're pretty rust buckety at this point, right? So we're talking,
Yeah, it's very hard to see things that are in good condition.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And this planet was erased, so to speak, during or just after the faction wars, or maybe even before. I don't know. But
all right. Should I be working on the linguistic issue? I say, pointing to the dormant one, or should I be working on this?
Because the linguistic, that was to just get a gear turning in your head about that.
Mm-hmm.
We can work on that together once we get to the core world, because they will have I'm sure they'll have much more easily accessible,
and a vast number of other scientists who would love to get their hands on that.
Exactly.
And steal the
not
credit,
picking
Al.
up on that. Exactly. So, there will be a lot more resources for that there, but we're here now for this.
Right.
So
I will admit I am not much of a ship person. I engineering and the history of ship design is not my forte. Show me a civilization before they invented space travel, I'm there. But ships themselves, I can try my best. But
try your best and try.
I
just
think that
maybe
that's
just
actually
download
something.
a bunch of scans.
I
too.
can do that. I can do scanning for sure, but I think that that's something that you might want to talk to Hal about. So,
Good point. Yeah.
Hal is probably our best resource as far as starships go. So,
Okay.
nonetheless, I will be around, and I will at least give you as many scans as I can.
So,
I'll stay within comm range.
Yes, please. I will be able to help you. I will be able to help you out if ever you run into trouble. That's me saying that you've got the education buff now.
So, I know Hugo's staying on the ship. VaTze is staying on unless anyone asks otherwise, as is...
I was actually just about to.
Okay, what do you want to... talk to VaTze?
I would like to ask VaTze to man my flyer and follow behind me.
Go ahead and give me a command roll, something we rarely do.
Was that influence?
Yes, it is.
Oh boy, 0.
Ooh.
No, that's what I have to add to it. I don't know yet.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine he had a
Oh.
-2 influence and then got snake eyes. I can imagine it, but...
7.
Okay, on a 7, VaTze seems hesitant and sort of says, the last planet we landed on wound up being evil, objectively speaking. We had a lot of shenanigans, and if I recall, some people had to literally kill themselves. I'm feeling a little trepidatious about a ground mission right now. Yeah.
Didn't VaTze forget all that because time got rewritten?
I assume you guys would have filled him in a little bit. I assume the story
Yeah.
would have been told.
Okay, fine.
I mean, I would have let everyone know on the ship what happened,
Yeah, so
or
VaTze
at
goes,
least the last captain would have.
Yeah.
I'll come with, but
That's why you're following at a very safe distance, up in the air.
if anything happens, you owe me. Big time.
I mean, I already built you a robot body, but okay.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm following you at all. I already followed you into a literal robot firefight last planet, and I considered us even at that point.
Okay, fine. I just wanted you to be able to bring it down if I find something worth, like, scrapping.
I've got it. So a mixed success for a command roll basically means it doesn't harm the relationship, but it does put some stress on it. So
Okay.
I'm not going to have any lasting consequences for that if everything goes smoothly. If he makes it back and there's nothing going on, you're fine. If anything happens that is a close call or bad, that's going to be bad for your relationship moving forward.
Okay.
Cool. So
It basically means you cannot use command again on them until you fix what you broke.
right. And in this case, bringing them back safely is counted as fixing what you broke. But if you don't, then you'll need to find another way to fix that. Sweet. So VaTze is going, Gammon's going, of course, and then Talon, the Hals. Are you guys going?
Down to the planet? Oh, yeah.
Halifax?
I am.
I mean, I would be relatively helpful in this case because
Yeah.
I also have the repair skill, so I kind of have a basic idea.
You got the
of
repair
how
skill and a
things
flyer.
work. Yes, I do.
Sweet.
So, yeah.
I have a flyer with a built-in repair kit.
Okay. Then in that case, the ground troops, everyone except for Ro, you're staying on the ship?
I'm staying on the ship.
Cool. Everyone except for Ro, you guys hit planet side, and you spread out and begin to search for parts. And I think, as much as it's a little anticlimactic, I usually like a bigger cliffhanger than that. And I do have some, but I don't know how far away they're going to be. So I think it's probably a good place to call it. We're at 10 o'clock. So keep your eyes... first off, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I feel like we had a nice crowd tonight. It's really love having you guys here. Thank you so much. Please tell your friends, bring people in. I will update the recap before next time, I promise, so that'll be able to get them caught up. What's up, Dan?
not that. We haven't leveled up in, like, talked advancement tracks in forever because one of us has always been missing.
Yeah.
We should do that now.
Let's absolutely do that now. I want to finish announcements first, really, really quick. I'm going to forget to say it otherwise. And then we'll absolutely level up for anyone who wants to do that. So, plan, announcements, level up, raid. We are going to raid tonight. So if you can stick around with the raid, even just for a little bit, I'm probably just going to find a friend to raid, but it's a really nice thing to help support communities. I know it always feels great when we get raided, so we're going to spread the love.
I think your brother's streaming right now.
Oh, awesome. If he is, I would love to raid him, yeah. So let's, first though, announcements. So next week, I don't know if everyone or most of us are around, we might do a thing next week. And if not, we'll probably do that thing 2 weeks from now at the beginning of the next session. We'll do like a 30-minute to an hour pre-session thing. Actually, it's probably better we're not on a cliffhanger, so we don't need to like cut into a big cliffhanger. But we are talking. So we've been doing one-offs in Uncharted Worlds 2. We are thinking about incorporating more of Uncharted Worlds 2 into the main campaign, if not switching over entirely. So I know we're about to level up, but we're going to discuss how it's going to work, and we figured rather than doing that behind the scenes, if anyone is into the technical side of things, you are welcome to come by and hang out for that. That will be either next week if everyone or enough people are around, or the week after that at 7 before the main game starts. So that's the plan. Those are the announcements. With that said, let's do level up advancement tracks really quick, and then we'll go raid my brother because it looks like he is in fact streaming. So,
yep.
Let's go advancement tracks one at a time. Dan, what is your advancement track?
A fascinating phenomenon is explained.
I don't think explained. Just like maybe next time, but I don't think we've explained it this time. We've had a couple of fascinating phenomenon, but I don't think we've explained any yet.
We never leveled up after we left the castle planet. Yeah, Arundi. I don't think we ever.
Yeah, we didn't, because I've been at.
Oh, okay. So are we going back to there?
Yeah, I've been at the same number.
Oh no, we leveled up after that, because that's how I got calibrations.
I didn't.
I could have sworn I did.
No, I feel like you had calibrations earlier. Let's tell you what. I'm not worried about leveling up quickly is not the name of this game. It's not like D&D where you get all the cool new stuff. I'm fine taking it back to Arundi, but we're only gonna get 1 point for everyone no matter what. Is that cool?
Okay.
Yep.
Unless you can target twice, having once since Arundi and once since this session specifically. So Arundi up through the militant planet is one bracket, and then now is another. So with that said. Yes, phenomenon explained on Arundi for sure. So that's one experience. Sean, what's your track?
My new one, because I have, after finishing Personality, I've switched over to Starfarer, is a passenger reaches a destination, which I believe we did because that escapee, our not escapee, our
convict?
The convict.
Silas?
Silas.
Yeah, Silas. Thank you. That was his name.
Oh yeah, did you left him on Malchus?
Yes. As far as we know, we
left him on.
Yeah, he didn't he wouldn't have. He said no to the station. I forgot because you talked about leaving him on any other populated planet. And I forgot that Malchus was an option. So yeah, you could absolutely have just left him there, which makes I was gonna have him pop up obnoxiously in the middle of this arc, but that makes my life easier. So yeah, we'll grant a point for that. Silas is finally out of your hair.
Yeah.
Well, for now. Ethan, what do we got?
A system security is breached.
Breach?
Yes, it happened to us. The security.
Oh, that's right. It doesn't have to be you the one doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we were shot at that security system.
Yes. Cool. Yep. So that's 3 and L.
A dark secret extracted, which hasn't really happened.
Extracted. No.
Unless you count what happened to.
Oh yeah,
the last captain.
Yeah, the
last.
Ooh,
yeah, that's right. No, that was still after Arundi. Yeah, I'll give it that absolutely. So 4.
Okay.
Is that a level up or no?
No.
4 out of 12.
Yeah, we're.
Oh, we had just leveled up.
Yeah, exactly. We had literally just hit our level, so that's why we have a lot of new ways of earning. Yeah.
Cool. We love to see it. All right.
Then I never leveled up last time because I was at 7.
Then
then you're.
Then catch up, my friend.
Yeah. Okay. Because you would have gotten the 3 to hit you up to 10, which is why 12 is the next one.
Okay.
Sweet.
So yeah. You should be
So
right
just
now
a-
at 4 out of 12.
Okay.
Just a quick, just to make sure I have everything right. What? Oh, are we up to technically 3 level ups now? Like, I just want to make sure that I'm on the same page here.
So.
Yes.
Yes.
'Cause I have two. I have 2 extra things, and I should have 3 if we had just leveled up again.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Just checking.
I've got 6 total skills.
Okay, cool.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We're gonna go raid. You guys are the best.
Yay!
Again, tell your friends to bring people along. The more, the merrier. We love having people around. It's a lot of fun to just hang out here, and we'll do our best to do a better recap next time as the space adventures continue. All right. Now we awkwardly wave until the raid function kicks in. Yay!
Bye, thank you.
Oh my God, guys, we had a lot of
Yay!
13, 14 viewers ready to raid. Guys, you guys are the best.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
awesome.
check out the book.
Oh,
if
check
you
out the
want.
book. It's good. Yes,
It's on.
please.
It's on Drive-Thru RPG.
Please get Uncharted Worlds. It's so
Nice.
good. Okay. And I
Yes.
should have enough time, so hopefully they saw that, and then we'll raid. All right. As usual, guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to do my disconnect and say hi to... They literally just stopped. God damn it.
Ah.
Oh, well. We just...
We just raided an empty server.
They are still streaming, but it's on the thanks for watching screen. They were going to raid us. Of course they were.
Of course. Cross raids.
Oh, wait, they're back. Hang on, they're coming back in for the raid. Okay, cool. I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back. I'm going to disconnect for a hot second.
Sure.
About raiding you, Josh. But welcome to right now. Yeah, no, we saw it. We can turn the screen back on. One of our players had to duck out, but thanks for the raid, guys. We literally just ended for the night. Yeah, everyone follow. Let me hang on. Let me also send you back Josh's way. My brother runs a Uncharted Worlds campaign every other Sunday. They travel through space and have their own shenanigans. It's a different system than D&D, but it's definitely worth a watch. So yeah, follow him, follow here for all the raids.